be presence of animal fat, including fish tallow, fish oil, beef tallow, as well as lard. Now the notice being issued to this vendor as well, and the Food Safety Authority also issuing the notices to them. On the other hand, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has said that all the measures will be taken to reassure the devotees that the sanctity of the temple and of the laddu is being protected in every possible way. Of course, purification rituals also happened yesterday, including a Shanti Homam.
With that, let's turn our attention now to Karnataka, where the High Court will pronounce its verdict today on the petition filed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, challenging the approval granted by Governor Thavarchand Gehlot to investigate him in the Mysuru Urban Development Authority sites allotment case. The Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is facing prosecution over alleged irregularities related to the land allocations by the Mysuru Urban Development Authority. The controversy actually centers on the allocation of compensatory land parcels to BM Parvati, Siddaramaiah's wife, during his previous term as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. Pratibha Raman has been tracking the story very closely. She joins us live at the moment for a quick update. Pratibha, the Chief Minister facing a litmus test. What time is this verdict expected?
Well, what we hear so far is that anytime around 12 noon is when the verdict is expected, and it is definitely going to be a make or break situation as far as Siddaramaiah's political future in Karnataka is concerned, because we've been talking about the BJP going hammer and tongs with respect to the MUDA allegations, demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister here. In the meantime, the Chief Minister maintaining that in his 40-decade political career, there has never been any kind of a black mark as far as his tenure is concerned. And here we are talking about the Karnataka High Court verdict, which is between two constitutional posts, that is of the governor and the chief minister there. It was right on August 17th when the permission for prosecution in the MUDA scam was given by the governor, and which was contended at the Karnataka High Court by the chief minister on August 19th. Since then, there have been 6 sittings at the Karnataka High Court with respect to the hearings. The arguments that were presented by the counsel representing the chief minister talked about how it was issued at breakneck speed when it came to the prosecution permission for the MUDA allegation against the chief minister, whereas those that are still pending with the governor, as far as the opposition leaders are concerned, the governor hasn't really acted on that. Now, the prosecution has continuously maintained that it was during the tenure of the chief minister, during his previous tenure, is when it was misuse of power that led to the land parcels that were allotted to his wife Parvati, which were of a higher value as compared to the land that was originally taken over for the allotment of sites as far as the MUDA is concerned. And here we are talking about the verdict today, which is definitely going to determine the legality of the permission for prosecution, and that will definitely steer the political future ahead for Siddaramaiah. Back to you.
As always, Pratibha, thank you so much for joining us with the context. We will, of course, revert to you once the High Court starts delivering their verdict. With that, let's turn our attention now to the Prime Minister's US tour. Well, Prime Minister Modi's 3-day US visit has come to an end. And just before wrapping up the visit, our Prime Minister has made a big push for peace. A day after he met the Palestinian President, Mahmoud Abbas, Prime Minister Modi also had a bilateral meeting with the Ukrainian President, Volodymyr Zelensky, in New York on Monday. This was actually the second meeting between the two leaders in about a month. And Prime Minister Modi had visited Ukraine, as you know, and as we've extensively covered, on the 23rd of August, about a month ago, and reiterated India's willingness to contribute in all possible ways to facilitate an early return of peace in the Ukraine war. A joint statement issued following Prime Minister Modi's visit to Ukraine had said that both leaders expressed mutual interest in working towards elevating bilateral relations from a comprehensive partnership to a strategic partnership in the future. Listen in to what the Prime Minister said, followed by my colleague Vishnu Shom's ground report.
Success of humanity lies in our collective strength, not in the battlefield. और वैश्विक शांति एवं विकास के लिए ग्लोबल संस्थाओं में रिफॉर्म्स आवश्यक है.
At the culmination of a very hectic and perhaps successful travel to the United States with the Prime Minister, where he has had a bilateral meeting with the US, a Quad summit, an important association or speech at the United Nations General Assembly. Comes news of a meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, it's an important meeting because it's been done at the request of the Ukrainians. It comes approximately a month after Prime Minister Modi was in Kiev. It is the third meeting between the two leaders in approximately 3 months. I was in Kiev last month. I was at a press conference of the Ukrainian president in which the tone which was used and perhaps some of the references and concerns which Ukraine had to the continued import of Russian oil and some would suggest critical remarks were made even while Prime Minister Narendra Modi was still on Ukrainian soil. The fact that Ukraine has called this meeting perhaps seems to indicate that they are in fact willing to continue engaging India as a country that genuinely wants a peaceful solution to what is happening in that part of Europe. There is a war between Russia and Ukraine which India wants to end. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is what the Foreign Secretary said today, is deeply concerned on the conflict and the toll that it is taking, not just in Ukraine but around the world. It's impacting the global south as well. There was no further discussion on the entire issue of Russia's continued import of, or India's continued import of Russian oil. So that didn't come up in the talks today. And India remains hopeful of a solution to end the war. But in terms of specifics and whether there is a real proposal which New Delhi has in hand, there isn't one right now. When it does emerge, it will emerge. But certainly India is working towards a process. There can't be anything instant. So at the culmination, at the end of this very hectic trip of the Prime Minister, just before he flies out to New Delhi or has in fact, or will be leaving for the airport to fly out, comes this news of this meeting between Volodymyr Zelensky and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
A quick update from battleground Jammu and Kashmir now. In fact, Jammu and Kashmir goes to polls in less than 24 hours from now for its second phase of assembly elections to decide the fate of 239 candidates, including NC's Omar Abdullah, after a 61.1% voter turnout in the first phase. 25.78 lakh voters will be casting their vote tomorrow. From regional parties' pledges to release jailed youth to the BJP's opposition to restoration of special status, the second phase of campaigning for these 26 assembly seats in 6 districts in Jammu and Kashmir came to an end on Monday. Over 25 lakh voters will decide the fate of 239 candidates tomorrow. In fact, voting in the second phase is in Kashmir Valley's 3 districts, Ganderbal, Srinagar, Budgam, and Jammu's regions Riyasi, Rajouri, and Poonch districts. Nazir Masoodi has been tracking the latest developments for us as far as the valley is concerned. He joins us live at the moment. Nazir, over 25 lakh voters eligible to cast their vote tomorrow in the second phase?
Yeah, exactly. Around 25,000 lakh people will be deciding the fate of the 26 assembly, on 6 assembly seats. And today, preparations for the polling are underway. Polling staff and the security force are being deployed at their respective places. So it is a prestige battle for all the parties. And who wins this round is expected to win this election or would be the largest party. This is a very, very challenging task, and we have seen intense campaigning, high-pitched campaigning, because the stakes in this phase was very high. Party chiefs of 3 political parties, BJP, National Conference, and the Congress are contesting in this phase. Omar Abdullah is contesting from 2 seats, Budgam and Ganderbal. Tariq Kara of Congress contesting from Central Shaltang in Srinagar, where Rahul Gandhi yesterday campaigned by him. And similarly, BJP's Ravinder Raina is contesting from this Rajouri's district. So this is, as I said, high-stake battle for all the political parties. And we have seen lots of, during the campaigning, there were allegations and counter-allegations, promises and counter-promises, terrorism, reservation, employment, all these issues became the central to the issue. Regional parties have their own priorities. The national parties have their own agendas and manifestos. Clearly, this is a battle which has, election which has come after a gap of 10 years, and everybody is hoping to do the best. We have seen until yesterday evening, all the parties trying their best to woo voters. Now the focus of the campaigning has shifted for the third phase, where you have the core constituency of BJP in Jammu and also the North Kashmir's 3 districts, which will also go to polls on the 1st of October. So the campaigning is intensifying for the third phase, and the preparations for the second phase of polling are underway as the security forces and the polling staff is being sent to different areas, particularly far-off areas in Rajouri, Poonch and Riyasi today.
As always, Nazir, thanks so much for joining us with the latest from Ground Zero. On to battleground Haryana now, where there's a rebel problem. Both the Congress and the BJP face rebel trouble. But the big question is, will the independents spoil the party? In fact, Gurpreet spoke with the Ambala Cant independent candidate. Here's what they told Gurpreet.
How election campaign is going on. The first question is how the election campaign is going on. The second question is that you have been campaigning for the Congress, but Congress did not give you a ticket, but you decided to contest as an independent candidate. So both the things, how are going on?
First of all, my campaign, what we expected could turn into a setback, suddenly turned into a strange kind of a fillip. And we had support, we had worked, people of Ambala knew it, and they were desperate for a change. So everybody was kind of looking forward to it. So I will not say I was the only person who was disappointed when this didn't happen. There was a collective disappointment and hurt that went across all party lines in Ambala itself. There are people who are coming to me and saying, Chitra, if you were on a Congress ticket, we were under a bit of a dilemma that we could never have pressed a Congress button. But now that you're an independent, more people from across party lines will support you. So suddenly they said this is probably a blessing in disguise for you. So campaign is picking up, joinings are happening. And yes, we are gearing up now that people are joining us. We tell all our teams also that they're coming at a time of trial. So I believe the competition earlier was also between me and Anil Vijji. Today also it's between me and him. And you said why I didn't give up. It's because when I worked for 10 years, but I didn't do a single thing on my own. If I came out and we questioned Anil Vijji or Bhajpa Sarkar, or we did a pradarshan, or we made a demand, or we struggled for anything, there were so many people who were attached with me. It's very easy for a leader to go back home, sip coffee and probably take off and say, I'm out. But people who are on the ground, who face far more harsher realities, where do they go? In nutshell,
you thought about your supporters, workers who have been working with you for last 10 years. Last time we had also seen you had contested as an independent candidate, and you were able to get around 44,000 you were able to get. So how do you see this time? Are you sensing the trend that you are gaining, or you have some challenges?
I think I'm gonna gain a lot, and that's because last time Sattar Par was a nara. Everybody knew BJP Sarkar is coming. Everybody knew that the then health and sports minister is gonna be something even bigger. And people didn't speak up. Nobody spoke up that we are with her. Everybody was quiet, and best estimates were she'll get 25,000, max 35,000. When 45,000 came, it was a bit of a surprise for everyone, including us.
And with that, let's turn our attention now to the battle for Rohtak. Well, there's a ground report lined up for you. NDTV did a chopal at a famous Puri and Sabzi shop. From Puris to politics, the Haryana dangal is being covered by my colleague Ankit Tyagi. Listen in to this NDTV special on who has the edge in Rohtak.
In Rohtak, to try and understand what's cooking in the mind of the voters, we thought we'll come for breakfast as well. This is one of the very, very famous, it's a 50-year-old shop here, which is the Delhi Puri Wala, quite famous here in Rohtak. A lot of people come here for breakfast and lunch later. So we thought, why not also try this? Enjoy the sumptuous, lovely puris that you can see here, which are being in fact, which are coming out one after another, along with some fresh lassi, and also try and understand what the voters in Rohtak are thinking about, what is cooking in their mind. So let's go inside and we'll get you some interesting, spicy conversation. Come. आपका क्या नाम है सर? कहाँ से हो आप?
मैं भाई साहब नयाबास गांव मेरा, ये गड्डी सापला कलोई।
हुड्डा जी की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से?
हाँ बिल्कुल, इसी से।
तो क्या हाल है वहाँ पर?
हुड्डा ही हुड्डा और हाल कुछ नहीं।
वहाँ हुड्डा ही हुड्डा है। तो मतलब चेहरे पे ही वोट जा रहा है या उनके काम पे वोट जाता है?
नहीं, काम पे ही जा रहा है, काम पे ही जा रहा है भाई साहब।
काम पे जा रहा है। हाँ। अच्छा, और आपका भाई साहब?
रोहतक है, ये प्रॉपर रोहतक से। हाँ।
क्या करते हो सर आप?
कुछ नहीं, ट्रांसपोर्ट का काम है सर।
आप बिजनेसमैन हो, तो बिजनेस के लोगों के लिए ट्रांसपोर्टर्स आप लोग के लिए कौन सी किसको लिए सोच के?
देंगे हुड्डा साहब को जी। हाँ, बिल्कुल कंफर्म है।
10 साल तो बीजेपी सरकार थी।
अब आ जाएगी ना हुड्डा साहब की, पहले भी तो हुड्डा साहब की थी।
10 साल हुड्डा सरकार भी तो थी उससे पहले। हाँ।
यहीं से हो आप? रोहतक कहाँ से हो?
जिला रोहतक।
रोहतक से ही हो?
जिला रोहतक है, गाँव।
कौन सा गाँव है आपका?
गाँव तो मेरा मैम है।
मैम है? हाँ। मैम में क्या हाल है?
रहता हूँ मैं सापला।
तो मैम में चुनाव का क्या माहौल बन रहा है?
मैम में कांग्रेस।
कांग्रेस? गहरे टक्कर है वहाँ पे बड़ी?
देखो मैं कम जाग हूँ, मैं बाकी रहता हूँ सापला है।
हाँ।
सापला में हुड्डा क्लियर है।
सापला में हुड्डा क्लियर है। राम राम जी। क्या हाल है आपके? आपके तो अच्छे होने चाहिए सारे। रोहतक में आपकी पूरी की चर्चा है।
जी सर।
तो क्या सर, क्या ऐसा क्या बना के खिला रहे हो आप जो लोग बार बार आते हैं?
बनाने का ढंग है सर ऐसा है, हमारी 60 साल पुरानी दुकान है।
अच्छा।
60 साल से पहले मेरे फादर करते थे,
हाँ जी।
अब हम कर रहे हैं,
हाँ जी।
अब आगे बच्चे करेंगे।
अच्छा, मतलब फैमिली बिजनेस है, तो फिर इसलिए आपको तो हुड्डा साहब के बाद दीपेंद्र आए तो उससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है?
मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई सरकार आए।
कोई सरकार है?
कोई सरकार आए।
किसका माहौल चल रहा है? लोग आते होंगे यहाँ पे, बात करते होंगे।
फाइट बराबर की है जी, बीजेपी और कांग्रेस की फाइट बराबर की है
पूरे राज्य में?
हाँ हाँ जी।
किसी की बन सकती है?
किसी की भी बन सकती है। थोड़े मार्जिन में ही रहेगा जो कुछ रहेगा।
अच्छा, पर रोहतक कहते हैं हुड्डा जी का गढ़ है, तो आपको लग रहा है उस गढ़ में कहीं सेंध लग रही है?
ऐसा तो नहीं है, अब भी पिछली बार हुड्डा साहब के विधायक जीते हुए हैं, जो हैं कांग्रेस के हैं, हमारे बीबी बत्रा जी, वो जीते हुए हैं पहले। तो ये फाइट बराबर है। बाकी पब्लिक का मूड है, पब्लिक किस तरफ जाती है किस तरफ नहीं जाती, जनता का मूड है ये। तो
ये जो आप बनाते हो क्या खास है इसमें? ये क्या चीजें कैसे बनाते हो आप?
मोटा आटा होता है।
इधर आ जाए हमारे कैमरे पर्सन, उनको दिखा दीजिए कैसे बनती है।
ये मोटा आटा पिसवाना पड़ता है हमें।
हाँ।
उसकी ये पूरी बनती है।
मोटा आटा जरा हमारे दर्शकों को बता दीजिए क्या होता है मोटा आटा?
मोटा आटा मतलब पिसाई करने के लिए, जैसे बारीक आटा पिसवाते हैं हम, ऐसे मोटा आटा पिसवाना पड़ता है। और उसमें उड़द की दाल की फिलिंग करते हैं।
उड़द की दाल की?
हाँ जी।
हाँ जी।
और ये फिर उसको बनाते हैं।
बढ़िया पूरी बनती है गरम गरम
जी।
और सब्जी में क्या डलता है सर? आलू की सब्जी जो आप बनाते हो?
सब्जी में हींग डलती है, 30,000 रुपए किलो हींग है।
हाँ।
वो डालते हैं इसमें। आप खाओगे जब आपको पता चलेगा।
Well, assembly elections in Haryana are marked by significant internal dissent, with rebel candidates posing challenges to both the BJP and the Congress. Savitri Jindal, the chairperson of OP Jindal Group and an independent candidate contesting from the Hisar assembly seat in Haryana, has released her Sankalp Patra. In fact, in her Sankalp Patra, Mrs. Jindal prioritized local development and basic amenities, stating that resolving fundamental issues would be her first task, followed by advancing Hisar's growth. You must note that she has previously won 5 out of 6 elections, and for the upcoming elections, the BJP has fielded Dr. Kamal Gupta, while the Congress has nominated Ramnivas Rada for the Hisar seat. Now, with a total of 21 candidates in the race, the main competition is primarily between Mrs. Jindal, Mr. Rada, and Dr. Gupta. Listen in.
The contest of Hisar this time is quite interesting. It's not a bipolar, usual BJP Congress contest. One of the richest women in Asia, Savitri Jindal ji, is here. She's a seasoned politician and she's fighting as an independent this time. Interesting story of how that happened, but in Hisar at this moment, it seems that it's just not triangular, but she has made it quite an interesting contest, and a lot of people think that she may mar the chances of the main political parties. She's joining us at this moment. Ma'am, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए. सबसे पहले मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा, सावित्री जिंदल बड़ा नाम है हिसार के लिए, फॉर्मर मिनिस्टर रह चुकी हैं, आप एमएलए रह चुकी हैं, आपका परिवार का बहुत बड़ा नाम है, तो ऐसी क्या इस बार स्थिति बनी कि आपको एक इंडिपेंडेंट के तौर पर चुनाव लड़ना पड़ रहा है?
देखिए, मैंने 10 साल मैं पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर रही. शुरू में जिंदल साहब चुनाव लड़ते थे, उनके जाने के बाद मैं लोगों के बीच में आई और बीच में एक बार मैं चुनाव हार गई थी 2014 वाला, 19 में फिर मैंने चुनाव नहीं लड़ा। अब क्या मेरे सभी लोगों का यही राय थी सबकी कि आपको चुनाव लड़ना है, मेरे हिसार परिवार की। तो अब क्या उनके कहने से मैं इस चुनावी मैदान में कूद पड़ी।
मैं अभी जब अंदर आ रहा था आपके ऑफिस में तो मैंने देखा एक तस्वीर है जिंदल साहब की राजीव गांधी के साथ। बहुत साल पुराना आप लोगों का कांग्रेस के साथ रिश्ता रहा। पिछले चुनाव में हमने देखा कि उस वक्त आप नवीन जिंदल जी भी और आप भी बीजेपी में शामिल हुए और अब आप वापस इंडिपेंडेंट लड़ रही हैं। तो क्या ये इसको बगावत के तौर पर देखा जाए बीजेपी के खिलाफ, और अगर आपको वापस आना था चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तो क्या कांग्रेस आपके लिए रास्ता नहीं?
देखिए, बगावत वाली कोई बात नहीं है। बस मैंने तो अपने हिसार परिवार के मेरे लोगों ने जो कहा मैंने उनका कहना माना। उन लोगों का यही था कि हमें कुछ भी हो चुनाव लड़ना है। तो आपको मालूम है कि बीजेपी से डॉक्टर साहब लड़ रहे हैं और कांग्रेस से राणा साहब को टिकट मिली है। तो मेरे लोगों ने यही कहा कि भी चुनाव लड़ना ही लड़ना, छोड़ना नहीं है। तो इंडिपेंडेंट के अलावा कोई चारा नहीं था, तो मैं उनके कहने से।
कौन किसको आप अपनी मेन ऑपोजिशन या मेन टक्कर मान रही हैं? कांग्रेस से आज सीधी लड़ाई है, बीजेपी से सीधी लड़ाई है हिसार में?
देखिए, मेरी किसी से कोई लड़ाई नहीं है। हम लोग अपना चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं और ये मेरा चुनाव नहीं, मेरे हिसार परिवार का चुनाव है। वो लोग अपना चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। तो
आपको मजबूत स्थिति में देखा जा रहा है और कुछ लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि देखिए बीजेपी कहीं ना कहीं शायद चाहती थी कि आपको टिकट मिले लेकिन अपने कैंडिडेट का टिकट नहीं काट पाए। तो अगर उनके कैंडिडेट कमज़ोर पड़ते हैं तो सावित्री जी जीत भी जाएंगी तो बीजेपी का समर्थन करेंगी?
नहीं, अभी तक ऐसा कुछ भी सोचा नहीं है और ये मेरा हिसार परिवार निर्णय लेगा कि क्या करना है। मैं तो इस समय हिसार परिवार की तरफ से ही उनकी प्रत्याशी हूँ। उन्होंने मुझे चुनाव मैदान में खड़ा किया है और वही मेरा चुनाव भी लड़ रहे हैं।
अगर ऐसी स्थिति बनती है कि कांग्रेस और बीजेपी दोनों को आपके समर्थन की आवश्यकता हो तो
जो प्रभु इच्छा होगी।
लेकिन नवीन जिंदल जी अभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी से सांसद हैं कुरुक्षेत्र से, आपकी कैंपेन में क्या वो भी आने वाले हैं? क्योंकि उनके लिए बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा, अपनी माता जी के लिए कैंपेन करें और वैसे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसद हैं।
देखिए, उनको उनकी जो पार्टी आदेश देगी नवीन जिंदल वही करेंगे। और यहाँ पर मेरे हिसार परिवार के मेरे सारे बेटे लगे हुए हैं, तो सब मेरे लिए चुनाव प्रचार कर रहे हैं। तो कोई बात नहीं है ऐसी।
उन्होंने आपको बोला नहीं कि आप बीजेपी के खिलाफ चुनाव ना लड़ें, ठीक नहीं होगा, पार्टी में आगे उनका फ्यूचर भी?
मैंने अपने असल में हिसार परिवार का कहना माना और मैं चुनावी मैदान में, क्योंकि हिसार परिवार ने कहा कि चुनाव लड़ना ही है, अब की बार छोड़ेंगे नहीं।
ऐसे क्या काम रह गया है? क्योंकि आप यहाँ से मंत्री भी रही हैं सरकार में और यहाँ से आप एमएलए भी रही हैं 2 बार। क्या काम हिसार में ऐसे रह गए हैं जो आपको लगता है कि जिनको तत्पर तौर पर करना चाहिए, जो अभी तक कम से कम जो प्रेजेंट एमएलए हैं या जिनका भी शासन रहा वो लोग नहीं कर सके?
देखिए, इस समय जो है मूलभूत सुविधाएं जो चरमराई हुई हैं, एकदम सड़कें टूटी हुई हैं, सीवरेज व्यवस्था गड़बड़ाई हुई है। क्योंकि मेरे टाइम में 10 साल पहले जैसे जो सीवरेज लाइन डली थी छोटी पड़ गई है, हमारा हिसार बहुत बढ़ गया है, तो बड़ी लाइन डालने की ज़रूरत है। पानी की निकासी का प्रबंध नहीं है, घरों में पानी घुस जाता है, जो नीचे घर हैं उनमें, तो सब लोग परेशान हो जाते हैं। पहले मैं यही सोचूंगी कि सब जो मूलभूत सुविधाएं हैं लोगों को वो पूरी प्रोवाइड कराई जाए।
From Haryana, let's turn our attention now to Maharashtra, to Mumbai specifically. Metropolitan Region Development Authority, MMRDA, has unveiled a groundbreaking infrastructure plan that promises to reshape the future of Mumbai's connectivity. The ambitious Ring Road project aims to create a seamless network of roads, flyovers and tunnels that will connect the bustling city of Mumbai to its sprawling metropolitan region. In fact, this mega infrastructure project, expected to be completed by the year 2029, will not only ease the city's notorious traffic congestion, but also improve connectivity across the region in a bid to make life more convenient for millions of commuters. But with a staggering budget of over 58,000 crore rupees, the Ring Road plan marks a new era for Mumbai's urban landscape. What will it mean for the people of the metropolis? Well, MMRDA Commissioner Sanjay Mukherjee he spoke exclusively to NDTV and gave us a sneak peek into the ambitious project. Listen in to what he had to say, followed by my colleague Anuj Raite's report as well.
Mr. Mukherjee, first question, of course, give us a comprehensive overview of this project. What does it entail? Which are the areas that it's going to connect? What is the cost and how is it going to make lives of citizens easier as far as City of Mumbai is concerned?
So MMRDA prepares a comprehensive mobility plan of the entire MMR region, and it is MMRDA's endeavor to ensure that connectivity is smoother, and we are continuously trying to reboot the city of Mumbai, and we are trying to give a proper shape, reshape the area of MMR. And the reason behind this is the enormous economic importance that MMR has. And as we speak, MMR area contributes something like to 4.6% of the national GDP. And, even BKC by itself contributes something shy of 3% of the national GDP. So that is the importance of this particular area. Now, the idea is that, pedestrians first. So pedestrians are at the ground level. Cars will have to be at a higher level or at a lower level. Second, public transport. So whatever you do, that should be integrated with the metro network. That is the second thing. Third, environmental sustainability. So you choose the location and the corridor where it is the most easiest to take up the activity.
If you can briefly explain to us the connectivity.
Yes. So if you look into it, a lot of this work is already ongoing. Like the Mumbai Coastal Road. This is being executed by the BMC. Then you have the... so if you take the island city, the Mumbai Coastal Road is being executed by the BMC. MMRDA is constructing the Worli to Shivdi Sea Link. This connects to the Eastern Freeway and to the MTHL here. And then from the Eastern Freeway, MMRDA is executing this Orange Gate Tunnel as we speak. So this will connect Orange Gate where the Eastern Freeway lands. And from there, it will come directly to the Marine Drive and then to the Coastal Road. So this is one ring.
Certainly, all of this sounds great. It's going to make lives of commuters easy, but I'm sure there are challenges, right? It's not going to be easy considering the rough terrain as far as Mumbai is concerned, the dense population. So take us through the challenges that you'll have to face as you go ahead.
So as we go ahead, the first challenge is, the question of land acquisition. But we have chosen those corridors, mostly the corridors as you see are where land acquisition is kept at the bare minimal. So that is one. The second and the very important issue is the issue of sustainability. And here we are trying to do it in such a way so as to cause the minimum impact to the environment. And needless to say, whatever requirement is given by the development agency, by the regulatory agency regarding replantation of trees or regarding environmental care, that has to be taken by the concerned agencies.
But what about at some point, do you think there will be rehabilitation or there will be displacement of communities or of people? Do you think that also could possibly come up?
See, there will be no displacement of communities. And I'll tell you why. This whole, people are calling this as a ring road project. It's essentially a bypass road project. And therefore, it is not going through dense habitation. So therefore, communities being replaced, absolutely not. But as far as maybe there will be a few hutments or a few houses which do get affected as a result of this. And MMRDA has a very, very good rehabilitation policy, and they will all get the benefit of that rehabilitation policy.
And very importantly, how are you planning to address the issue of traffic disruptions that may happen as the construction begins? That's something we saw during metro construction, coastal roads. So how are you planning to address that? Because this is a massive project that we're seeing.
So where the work will be happening within the city, there this issue of traffic disruption will happen. And that is, their traffic will have to be managed. For instance, working at night. The Anand Nagar to Saket Road, the tender specifically mentions that you will work only at night. Right. So those plannings will have to be done.
Finally, very importantly, this is something that all the commuters would like to know. On an average, what is it they are looking at? Like what used to take an hour will take 10 minutes. What used to take 2 hours will take 20 minutes. So what is the average, reduction of time that we are looking at as far as commuting is concerned?
So I can just tell you, for instance, the distance from Mumbai to Ulve was about 2 hours to maybe an hour and a quarter. Now that has come down to less than 20 minutes. The Thana-Borivali tunnel, which after its execution, the distance from Thane to Borivali takes 1.5 to 2 hours. So that shall come down to something like 15 minutes or less than that. So this is the type of impact these things will make, and that is the extra time that you get. This extra time the commuter can use for his own self, or he can work more.
Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority along with BMC and NHAI are working on an ambitious project, the Ring Road project here in Mumbai to decongest the city. Before we get down to understand what exactly this project is about or to know the positives or the negatives of this project, first let's understand what this project is going to be like. to my left here, where my camera person will be panning at the moment, you can see vehicles coming from the southern part of the city. And this is an important part of the city. You can consider something like Nariman Point coming here, and the vehicles which you are seeing are moving towards the central or the northern suburbs. Now, if it wasn't for the coastal road, if it wasn't for the Bandra-Worli Sea Link, all these important developments which have happened in recent decades, it would have needed these vehicles to travel from the interiors of the city and hence take a longer period of time. And how important is this project is because it's some sort of a concentric movement of vehicles through the ring roads, which will not necessarily just be outer ring road but also inner ring road. It is a bunch of ring roads coming together to facilitate not just the movement for the vehicles which want to travel from the outskirts of the city, but also for the vehicles which are in the interiors of the city to find an easy pass to make their way through to different parts or different kind of outings from the city, be it on the northern part, be it on the western on the western Maharashtra's part or on the southern Maharashtra's part. To put it into some sort of perspective, this Mumbai city is an extremely kind of an artificial city which has been put in place by getting several islands together. And what these ring roads will do is that they'll either connect the vehicles here in the state directly to the places which I'll mention in a while, or will at least connect them. Now, which are the places that it's going to connect the people to? When you talk about the southern part of these ring roads, it will connect people to the western coastline of Maharashtra. That is the Konkan region, an extremely flourishing part of the state, especially in agricultural and tourism industry.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है। बस एक्टिंग करा लो इनसे। पैसाबाजार.com, क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक, आदत अच्छी है।
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पर डिपेंड करता है। आज ही जाइए पैसाबाजार.com पर और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत किसी को भी कभी भी पड़ सकती है।
चल एक्टिंग थोड़ा भेल बनो।
पैसाबाजार.com।
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Nifty is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power.
Welcome back. Ahead of the festive season, gold prices have touched an all-time high of 6,980 rupees per gram. Gold prices have surged with festivals around the corner. In fact, gold prices have surpassed 76,000 rupees per 10 grams for the first time. The surge has been observed in major cities like Delhi, Jaipur, Lucknow, and Chandigarh. And to the first bilateral engagement between New Delhi and Dhaka since the fall of the Awami League regime, our External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar and Bangladesh's Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tauheed Hussain met in New York. This was the first in-person meeting between leadership of both the sides. In fact, Bangladesh's Foreign Advisor Tauheed Hussain on Saturday had said that Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus will not be meeting our Prime Minister on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Well, we have breaking news coming in at the moment regarding the Malayalam MeToo movement, a setback for actor Siddiqui as the Kerala High Court dismisses his bail plea. The Kerala High Court has dismissed the bail plea by actor Siddiq. This is the breaking news coming in on NDTV 24/7 at the moment. Siddiqui has been accused of rape and assault. In fact, the Malayalam actor had filed an anticipatory bail plea, and now the Kerala High Court has dismissed it. That's the breaking news information coming in currently on NDTV 24/7. The Kerala High Court has dismissed the bail plea by actor Siddiqui. A setback for the actor. He has been accused, though, of rape and assault. He allegedly assaulted an actor. Malayalam actor had filed an anticipatory bail plea. The Kerala High Court has dismissed the bail plea by actor Siddiqui. This is the developing breaking news story we're tracking on NDTV 24/7 at the moment regarding the Mollywood MeToo entire case that has spiraled and brought very crucial stories to the fore. A setback for Siddiqui in the rape case as the Kerala High Court has dismissed the bail plea by actor Siddiqui. He was accused of rape and assault, as I just mentioned. He had allegedly assaulted an actor, and now the Kerala High Court has struck down his request for bail. Right, as we wait for our reporters to gather more information on this breaking news story, as I can inform our viewers at the moment, actor Siddiqui, he has been accused of rape and assault, and his bail plea has been rejected by the Kerala High Court. In fact, through this entire Mollywood, the stories that have been coming to the fore, not only have they been shocking after the Justice Hema Committee report that was delayed, but they have been heinous in many ways than one. Lots of actors, producers, people who are high up in the Mollywood industry have been accused. They have also been taken to task by authorities. And the breaking news information coming in at the moment, the Kerala High Court has rejected Siddiqui's bail plea. He has been accused of rape and assault. He allegedly also assaulted an actor, is what we're told. The Malayalam film industry has been rocked by allegations of sexual assault and harassment against some top actors and filmmakers. In fact, besides Siddiqui, Mukesh, Maniyanpilla, Raju, Idavela Babu and director Ranjit are among the prominent film personalities who face cases of sexual harassment. Ishika joins us at the moment regarding this breaking news information coming in. Ishika, what details can you disclose to our viewers?
Well, in fact, Parmeshwar, as you rightly mentioned, it is a big setback for the actor Siddiq. He had, remember, approached the Kerala High Court, and today Kerala High Court, in fact, has dismissed, his anticipatory bail plea. Remember that he had approached, the Kerala High Court after, very grave allegations of rape charges were, in fact, filed against him by the complainant in this particular case. Now, even in the petition even in his bail petition, he had mentioned that all of this, is just a part of the conspiracy, and this was only done, by the complainant to, in fact, to conspire against him. And he also said that such kind of, allegations were made against him by the same complainant in 2019 as well, but the details were changed now. But now, certainly, the Kerala High Court has dismissed his anticipatory bail plea. Remember that the SIT that has been formed by the state government is already investigating this particular, case. And in fact, a different SIT in Trivandrum was also formed to investigate this particular case. In this case, the complainant had in fact alleged that actor Siddiq, who is in fact a Mollywood heavyweight, he, had raped her while giving her a promise of a role in a film. So all of this, after all of this, a big setback certainly for the Mollywood heavyweight actor Siddiq. Over to you.
For joining us with the latest breaking news information coming in at the moment. The breaking news information we're tracking, the High Court has denied bail to actor Siddiqui. He has been accused of sexual harassment in a case. The High Court has dismissed his bail plea. Let's switch tracks now. India scripts history at the Chess Olympiad. India dominated the tournament in both sections and made history by claiming its first ever gold medals. The Indian contingent also bagged individual medals for their performance. It was a rare double gold at the 2024 event, a golden milestone for Indian chess. In fact, in the women's section, international master Vantika Agrawal delivered when it mattered the most as she defeated Grandmaster Irina Krush, helping India secure a 2-2 draw against the United States of America. My colleagues Rishika and Radhika had the good fortune earlier today to speak to her. Listen in.
Vantika, you have created history. Congratulations and thank you for being with us on NDTV. How does it feel?
Thank you so much for having me here. I just feel so happy. When we won the medal, we were on top of the world. We didn't know how to even express ourselves, winning double gold, and for the first time, for the last 100 years, India hasn't even won like a gold, and last time it was a bronze and now it's a gold, and that too double gold. I mean, we are just so proud to be playing for India and winning gold.
All right, Vantika, did you expect something like this? I mean, of course, you were with all of your friends winning this medal, and we can see the celebrations also on the dais. So did you expect something like this? What was the conversation among all of you before and after?
So before, like once we won the medal, everyone was, I think we had planned this, that when we win the medal, we'll go for this dance, we'll have celebrations, we'll make reels, we'll go for some dinner and all. And I think before the tournament also, we were the first seeds. So it was kind of expected that we should win a medal. And of course, there was high pressure playing on the top board all the games. And especially after the match with the Poland, we were in 2 points lead. So, but after the match with Poland, it was an unfortunate loss for us. And then we had to play against USA. And then again, we were in a tough situation there. So on board 2 and 4, a draw had happened. And on board 1, Vaishali had lost. So like, and then I was the only one playing, and all the pressure was on me that I have to somehow win to save India.
Yes.
And then I thought that, okay, I have to give all my best, like play my best chess of my life there.
And you did.
Yes. And that was a crucial
Vantika, I mean, whoever has read about this historic win knows that you pretty much saved the day. How does it feel? Because, you know, when we look at 21-year-olds, whether it's in any sphere of work or sport or whatever, the pressure is immense. So what would you like to tell viewers who are watching you? You're just 21 years old. You've been a part of Indian chess history. You're an icon in a certain sense, a youth icon. How do you deal with that kind of pressure? Does it help you perform better, or does it diminish performance? How does it actually work when you're there in the thick of it?
Yeah, I mean, there was, of course, a lot of pressure from the starting till the end, but I was not thinking about anything. I was thinking, I'm playing for India. I mean, there are so many people watching, they are fans, so many, they want me to play well. And I was like, I have to play well, there's no other choice.
Yes.
I have to just give my all, play the best chess of my life, whatever. And then there's no choice, like everything would work out if I give my best.
Okay, what's next for you?
What's next? I mean, I'll just keep playing open tournaments, and then eventually I play for India also. I mean, there would be more Olympiads coming also.
Okay.
After there's Olympiad in every 2 years. So,
yes,
of course, India wants to keep getting the gold every time.
Who is your inspiration? Who keeps you motivated?
My inspiration, there's Vishwanathan Anand sir, who is, you know, 5 times world champion. He keeps motivating us. He was there for us even in Hungary, you know, even after the loss and all. And then even after we won the medal, he was there. He congratulated us.
Yes.
So he keeps motivating us. I'm also part of his Vaka Academy.
Okay.
So there also we keep getting classes. And I'm also a big fan of Magnus Carlsen. He's from Norway and a very strong chess player.
Yes.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं, ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक करें फ्री में पैसाबाजार.com पर। लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
ठीक से एक्टिंग नहीं।
पैसाबाजार.com।
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं, ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
बस एक्टिंग करा लो इनसे।
पैसाबाजार.com, क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक, आदत अच्छी है।
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India."
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Nifty is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections.
Very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Baba. We have a whole lot lined up for you, but first, let's get you the headlines. The Karnataka High Court is going to be passing its verdict as far as Chief Minister Siddaramaia's plea challenging the approval granted by the governor to investigate the MUDA scam. Actor Siddique's anticipatory bail has been rejected. He has been accused of rape and assault by a co-worker. Haryana poll battle in which NDTV tracks the poll pulse is Savitri Jindal, who has slammed the BJP, and it's Chitra Sarwara, who has jabbed the Congress. So will the independents win? That's the big question. And amid the row as far as Tirupati laddus are concerned, the sale continues as usual. There's been no dip as far as the sales of laddus is concerned. Over 14 lakh laddus sold over the last 4 days. This at a time when the FSSAI has issued a show cause notice to the Tirupati ghee supplier AR Dairy. And from Gaza to Ukraine is Prime Minister Modi's push for peace after meeting with the Palestinian President. He's met with Zelensky and reiterated that war is not a solution, and also reiterating India's willingness to contribute towards peace. Let's get your top story, and that is in the MUDA scam and that verdict that's going to be pronounced very shortly. At about 12 o'clock, we can expect the Karnataka High Court to pronounce its verdict in regard to the MUDA scam. Do remember, it is the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah who has appealed to the court in regard to the nod that was given by the governor in order to investigate the Chief Minister in the MUDA scam. So senior officers issued notice to all these are all commissioners and all district SPs as well as DCPs to increase the vigil in sensitive areas in case of protest, riots and sit-ins post the verdict. We don't know which way this case is going to go. So the notice has been issued in order to ensure all kind of precautions are taken in order to avoid any untoward incident. Anyone protesting is instructed to go to Freedom Park, and this notice has now been put out. While the Karnataka High Court will be pronouncing its verdict at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the petition filed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah challenging the approval granted by the governor to investigate him in the Mysuru Urban Development Authority sites allotment case. So this is, Siddaramaiah is facing prosecution over the alleged irregularities related to the land allocation to his wife during his previous term as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. So the patrolling of the area, the police and the security arrangements have been beefed up. This is in regard to just in case there is any sort of protest, any sort of agitation post that verdict that is expected by the Karnataka's High Court. So senior police officials have issued a notice to all commissioners, including the SPs and the DCPs, to increase vigil in the sensitive areas in case of any kind of sit-in, protests, or there are any kind of riots that take place after that verdict is announced. So this is a precautionary measure which has been adopted by the government in order to avoid any kind of untoward incident from taking place. Anyone protesting has now been asked if they want to protest. This will be post that verdict that comes out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon by the Karnataka High Court that is listening to the petition by the Chief Minister against the governor's nod to investigate him in the matter of the MUDA scam. Do remember that it is Siddaramaiah as well as the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar who have claimed that this is absolute bogus, denied those allegations, and of course the BJP there who have been demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister. But of course the Congress party they're saying that there is no question of the Chief Minister resigning. So this is a very crucial hearing that's taken place. The verdict that is expected to come about in an hour's time from now, and we have Pratibha joining us. Pratibha, very crucial hearing coming about. Of course, take us through in case the verdict doesn't go Siddaramaiah's way, what kind of implications would that have?
Well, in fact, the Chief Minister has constantly been maintaining that this is definitely something that is baseless and that this is a deliberate attempt or a political conspiracy played out by the opposition leaders there. And he has also said that in his 40-year span across his political career, he has never faced these kind of allegations. But right now, what we hear is that the verdict should be pronounced anytime around 12 noon. And this is definitely going to be a make or break situation, as well as far as steering his political future is concerned. We are talking of the city as well as the state being on high alert, with notices that have been issued in case of any kind of protests that could spur up in different pockets of the city as well as the state from the Congress leaders there. 6 sittings of this particular case has been witnessed at the Karnataka High Court, and each time the arguments presented by the Chief Minister or the counsel representing him has been that every time there has been a prosecution sanction case that has been issued with respect to the opposition leaders, the governor has been sitting on it, whereas when it comes to the Chief Minister, the governor has worked at breakneck speed. Most of the Congress leaders also alleging that the governor is acting as a political agent here. So the fight here has always been between the two constitutional posts, the governor and the Chief Minister here. The legality of the permission for prosecution given against the Chief Minister in the MUDA scam is what needs to be closely watched at this point in time. And in case it works as a setback for the Chief Minister, will he continue or not as the Chief Minister is also something that needs to be closely watched, because we've already seen several Congress leaders contending for that post. The BJP as well going hammer and tongs ever since this MUDA allegations came about, talking about how they want to demand the resignation of the Chief Minister here. So a lot of political repercussions in case it turns out to be a setback for the Chief Minister here. But of course, there are also sources telling us that there would be the top court that the Congress would be knocking at. And we also hear from sources that the High Command now stands with the Chief Minister.
Right, which is why Pratibha, security has been beefed up, and all eyes on that crucial verdict that is expected to come out of Karnataka's High Court. Thank you so much for getting us those details. So from Karnataka's High Court, let's go across to Kerala's High Court. And this is Kerala's High Court, which has in fact gone ahead and dismissed the anticipatory bail application filed by actor Siddique, booked for rape following the release of the Hema Committee report. The complainant has claimed that the actor called her to a hotel with the pretext of discussing a film, and eventually what she has alleged is that he raped and assaulted her there. The complainant this is a complaint that was made to the special investigation team constituted to investigate the incidents of sexual harassment in the Malayalam film industry, and its actor Siddique in his petition said that the complainant, who is an ardent supporter and member of the Women's Cinema Collective, is making these allegations because he conducted the press meet along with other office bearers of the Association of the Malayalam Movie Actors after the release of the Hema Committee report. He's also pointed out that the same complainant had raised some allegations against him in 2019, but she went ahead and changed those details with the intention of getting him booked under non-bailable offences. And we have Ishika joining us. Ishika, take us through, the court there dismissing that bail of the actor.
Well, yes, Divya, it is certainly a setback for actor Siddique. Remember that he had approached the Kerala High Court, seeking anticipatory bail plea in the rape case that was filed against him. And today, the Kerala High Court, in fact, has dismissed his anticipatory bail plea. Remember that, very grave allegations of rape were filed against him. The complainant in this case, in fact, had alleged that he had raped her in a hotel in Trivandrum, while promising her a film role, while Siddique in his plea, in fact, had said that these allegations, some of these allegations were made by the complainant, even in 2019, and now she has changed the details only to get him booked. So this is only a part of the conspiracy, but certainly a big setback. Remember that the police, the SIT team that has been formed by the state government there is already investigating this particular case. A different SIT in Trivandrum was also formed just to investigate this entire matter. So the police is also going to go forward with the case, and after the High Court dismissing his anticipatory bail plea, it is also now expected that the police, the SIT, would also be calling Siddique, summoning him for interrogation in the investigation of this particular case. Over to you.
Right, Ishika, thank you so much for getting us all those details. We will keep tracking that story, and switching tracks now to Haryana. Assembly elections now in Haryana are marked by significant internal dissent, with rebel candidates posing challenges when it comes to the BJP and also to the Congress party. Savitri Jindal, the chairperson of the OP Jindal Group and an independent candidate contesting from the Hisar Assembly seat in Haryana, has released her Sankalp Patra. And in her Sankalp Patra, Savitri Jindal has prioritized local development and basic amenities, stating that resolving fundamental issues would be her first task, followed by advancing the growth in Hisar. Now, in fact, she has previously won 5 out of 6 elections. For the upcoming election, the BJP has fielded Dr. Kamal Gupta, while the Congress has nominated Ram Nivas Rada for the seat of Hisar.
The contest of Hisar this time is quite interesting. It's not a bipolar, usual BJP Congress contest. One of the richest women in Asia, Savitri Jindal ji, is here. She's a seasoned politician and she's fighting as an independent this time. Interesting story of how that happened, but in Hisar at this moment, it seems that it's just not triangular, but she has made it quite an interesting contest, and a lot of people think that she may mark the chances of the main political parties. She's joining us at this moment. Ma'am, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए. सबसे पहले मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा, सावित्री जिंदल बड़ा नाम है हिसार के लिए, फॉर्मर मिनिस्टर रह चुकी हैं, आप एमएलए रह चुकी हैं, आपका परिवार का बहुत बड़ा नाम है. तो ऐसी क्या इस बार स्थिति बनी कि आपको एक इंडिपेंडेंट के तौर पर चुनाव लड़ना पड़ रहा है?
देखिए, मैंने 10 साल मैं पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर रही. शुरू में जिंदल साहब चुनाव लड़ते थे, उनके जाने के बाद मैं लोगों के बीच में आई और बीच में एक बार मैं चुनाव हार गई थी 2014 वाला. 19 में फिर मैंने चुनाव नहीं लड़ा. अब क्या, मेरे सभी लोगों का यही राय थी सबकी कि आपको चुनाव लड़ना है, मेरे हिसार परिवार की. तो अब क्या, उनके कहने से मैं इस चुनावी मैदान में कूद पड़ी.
मैं भी जब अंदर आ रहा था आपके ऑफिस में तो मैंने देखा एक तस्वीर है जिंदल साहब की राजीव गांधी के साथ. बहुत साल पुराना आप लोगों का कांग्रेस का रिश्ता रहा. पिछले चुनाव में हमने देखा कि उस वक्त आप नवीन जिंदल जी भी और आप भी बीजेपी में शामिल हुए और अब आप वापस इंडिपेंडेंट लड़ रही हैं. तो क्या ये इसको बगावत के तौर पर देखा जाए बीजेपी के खिलाफ, और अगर आपको वापस आना था चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तो क्या कांग्रेस आपके लिए रास्ता नहीं था?
देखिए, बगावत वाली कोई बात नहीं है. बस मैंने जो अपने हिसार परिवार के मेरे लोगों ने जो कहा, मैंने उनका कहना माना. उन लोगों का यही था कि हमें कुछ भी हो चुनाव लड़ना है. तो आपको मालूम है कि बीजेपी से डॉक्टर साहब लड़ रहे हैं और कांग्रेस से राणा साहब को टिकट मिली है. तो मेरे लोगों ने यही कहा कि चुनाव लड़ना ही लड़ना, छोड़ना नहीं है. तो इंडिपेंडेंट के अलावा कोई चारा नहीं था. तो मैं उनके कहने से.
किसको आप अपनी मेन ऑपोजिशन या मेन टक्कर मान रही हैं? कांग्रेस से आज सीधी लड़ाई है, बीजेपी से सीधी लड़ाई है हिसार में?
देखिए, मेरी किसी से कोई लड़ाई नहीं है. हम लोग अपना चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं और ये मेरा चुनाव नहीं, मेरी हिसार परिवार का चुनाव है. वो लोग अपना चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं.
आपको मजबूत स्थिति में देखा जा रहा है और कुछ लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि देखिए, बीजेपी कहीं ना कहीं शायद चाहती थी कि आपको टिकट मिले, लेकिन अपने कैंडिडेट का टिकट नहीं काट पाए. तो अगर उनके कैंडिडेट कमज़ोर पड़ते हैं तो सावित्री जी जीत भी जाएंगी तो बीजेपी का समर्थन करेंगी?
नहीं, अभी तक ऐसा कुछ भी सोचा नहीं है और ये मेरा हिसार परिवार निर्णय लेगा कि क्या करना है. मैं तो इस समय हिसार परिवार की तरफ से उनकी प्रत्याशी हूँ. उन्होंने मुझे चुनाव मैदान में खड़ा किया है और वही मेरा चुनाव भी लड़ रहे हैं.
अगर ऐसी स्थिति बनती है कि कांग्रेस और बीजेपी दोनों को आपके समर्थन की आवश्यकता हो तो
जो प्रभु इच्छा होगी.
लेकिन नवीन जिंदल जी अभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी से सांसद हैं कुरुक्षेत्र से. आपकी कैंपेन में क्या वो भी आने वाले हैं? क्योंकि उनके लिए बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा, अपनी माता जी के लिए कैंपेन करें और वैसे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसद हैं.
देखिए, उनको उनकी जो पार्टी आदेश देगी नवीन जिंदल वही करेंगे. और यहाँ पर मेरे हिसार परिवार के मेरे सारे बेटे लगे हुए हैं, सब मेरे लिए चुनाव प्रचार कर रहे हैं. तो कोई बात नहीं है ऐसी.
उन्होंने आपको बोला नहीं कि आप बीजेपी के खिलाफ चुनाव ना लड़ें, ठीक नहीं होगा, पार्टी में आगे उनका फ्यूचर भी?
मैंने अपने असल में हिसार परिवार का कहना माना और मैं चुनावी मैदान में, क्योंकि हिसार परिवार ने कहा कि चुनाव लड़ना ही अब की बार, छोड़ेंगे नहीं.
ऐसे क्या काम रह गया है? क्योंकि आप यहाँ से मंत्री भी रही हैं सरकार में और यहाँ से आप एमएलए भी रही हैं 2 बार. क्या काम हिसार में ऐसे रह गए हैं जो आपको लगता है कि जिनको तत्पर तौर पर करना चाहिए, जो अभी तक कम से कम जो प्रेजेंट एमएलए हैं या जिनका भी शासन रहा वो लोग नहीं कर सके?
देखिए, इस समय जो है मूलभूत सुविधाएं जो चरमराई हुई हैं, एकदम सड़कें टूटी हुई हैं, सीवरेज व्यवस्था गड़बड़ाई हुई है. क्योंकि मेरे टाइम में 10 साल पहले जैसे जो सीवरेज लाइन डली थी छोटी पड़ गई है. हमारा हिसार बहुत बढ़ गया है, तो बड़ी लाइन डालने की ज़रूरत है. पानी की निकासी का प्रबंध नहीं है, घरों में पानी घुस जाता है, जो नीचे घर हैं उनमें. तो सब लोग परेशान हो जाते हैं। पहले मैं यही सोचूंगी कि सब जो मूलभूत सुविधाएं हैं लोगों को वो पूरी प्रोवाइड कराई जाए।
Savitri Jindal there speaking to my colleague Ankit, and of course the rebel problem is being faced by both the Congress and the BJP. Will independents spoil the party? While in an exclusive interview to NDTV's Gurpreet, Ambala Kant, independent candidate, has spoken just ahead of the Haryana polls. The All India Congress Committee suspended the rebel party leader Chitra Sarwar for 6 years for being involved in anti-party activities. Now she has decided to go independent as a candidate during these elections. Let's listen in to what she has to say.
How election campaign is going on? The first question is how the election campaign is going on. The second question is that you have been campaigning for the Congress, but Congress did not give you a ticket, but you decided to contest as an independent candidate. So both the things, how are going on?
First of all, my campaign, what we expected could turn into a setback, suddenly turned into a strange kind of a fillip. And we had support, we had worked, people of Ambala knew it, and they were desperate for a change. So everybody was kind of looking forward to it. So I will not say I was the only person who was disappointed when this didn't happen. There was a collective disappointment and hurt that went across all party lines in Ambala itself. There are people who are coming to me and saying, Chitra, if you were on a Congress ticket, we were under a bit of a dilemma that we could never have pressed a Congress button, but now that you're an independent, more people from across party lines will support you. So suddenly they said this is probably a blessing in disguise for you. So campaign is picking up, joinings are happening, and yes, we are gearing up. Now that people are joining us, we tell all our teams also that they're coming at a time of trial. So I believe the competition earlier was also between me and Anil Vijji. Today also it's between me and him. And you said why I didn't give up. It's because when I worked for 10 years, but I didn't do a single thing on my own. If I came out and we questioned Anil Vijji or Bhajpa Sarkar, or we did a pradarshan, or we made a demand, or we struggled for anything, there were so many people who were attached with me. It's very easy for a leader to go back home, sip coffee and probably take off and say, I'm out. But people who are on the ground, who face far more harsher realities, you know, where do they go? You know, so they
in nutshell, you thought about your supporters, workers who have been working with you for last 10 years. Last time we had also seen you had contested as an independent candidate, and you were able to get around 44,000 you were able to get. So how do you see this time? Are you sensing the trend that you are gaining, or you have some challenges?
I think I'm gonna gain a lot, and that's because last time Sattar Par was a nara. Everybody knew BJP Sarkar is coming. Everybody knew that the then health and sports minister is gonna be something even bigger. And people didn't speak up. Nobody spoke up that we are with her. Everybody was quiet, and best estimates were she'll get 25,000, max 35,000. When 45,000 came, it was a bit of a surprise for everyone, including us.
And let's just get you the vibe and the mood of the voters in Haryana. Well, my colleague Ankit spoke with the people in Rohtak to know which way are they headed in terms of this election, what's really cooking up in their minds, and also on the streets of Rohtak. Let's find out.
In Rohtak, to try and understand what's cooking in the mind of the voters, we thought we'll come for breakfast as well. This is one of the very, very famous, it's a 50-year-old shop here, which is the Delhi Puri Wala, quite famous here in Rohtak. A lot of people come here for breakfast and lunch later. So we thought, why not also try this, enjoy the sumptuous, lovely puris that you can see here, which are being, which are coming out one after another, along with some fresh lassi, and also try and understand what the voters in Rohtak are thinking about, what is cooking in their mind. So let's go inside and we'll get you some interesting, spicy conversation. Come.
आपका क्या नाम है सर? कहाँ से हो आप? मैं भाई साहब नया आवास गाँव मेरा, ये गड्डी सापला कलोई।
हुड्डा जी की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से?
हाँ बिल्कुल इसी से।
तो क्या हाल है वहाँ पर?
हुड्डा ही हुड्डा और हाल कुछ नहीं।
वहाँ हुड्डा ही हुड्डा है। तो मतलब चेहरे पे ही वोट जा रहा है या उनके काम पे वोट जाता है?
नहीं, काम पे ही जा रहा है, काम पे ही जा रहा है भाई साहब।
काम पे जा रहा है। हाँ। अच्छा, और आपका भाई साहब?
रोहतक है, ये प्रॉपर रोहतक से। हाँ।
क्या करते हो सर आप?
कुछ नहीं, ट्रांसपोर्ट का काम है।
आप बिजनेसमैन हो,
तो बिजनेस के लोगों के लिए, ट्रांसपोर्टर्स आप लोग के लिए कौन सी, किसको लिए सोच के
देंगे? हुड्डा साहब को जी। हाँ, बिल्कुल कंफर्म है।
10 साल तो बीजेपी की सरकार थी।
अब आ जाएगी ना हुड्डा साहब की, पहले भी तो हुड्डा साहब की थी।
10 साल हुड्डा सरकार भी तो थी उससे पहले। हाँ।
यहीं से हो आप? रोहतक कहाँ से हो?
जिला रोहतक।
रोहतक से ही हो?
जिला रोहतक है गाँव।
कौन सा गाँव है आपका?
गाँव तो मेरा मैम है।
मैम है? हाँ। मैम में क्या हाल है?
रहता हूँ मैं सापला।
तो मैम में चुनाव का क्या माहौल बन रहा है?
मैम में कांग्रेस।
कांग्रेस गहरे टक्कर है वहाँ पे बड़ी?
देखो मैं कम जाग रू मैं बाकी रहता हूँ सापला है।
हाँ।
सापला में उड्डा क्लियर है।
सापला में उड्डा क्लियर है। राम राम जी। क्या हाल है आपके? आपके तो अच्छे होनी चाहिए सारे। रोहतक में आपकी पूरी की चर्चा है।
जी सर।
तो क्या सर, क्या ऐसा क्या बना के खिला रहे हो आप जो लोग बार बार आते हैं?
बनाने का ढंग है सर ऐसा है, हमारी 60 साल पुरानी दुकान है।
अच्छा।
60 साल से पहले मेरे फादर करते थे, अब हम कर रहे हैं, अब आगे बच्चे करेंगे।
अच्छा, मतलब फैमिली बिजनेस है। तो फिर इसलिए आपको तो हुड्डा साहब के बाद दीपेंद्र आए तो उससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है?
मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई सरकार आए।
कोई सरकार है?
कोई सरकार है।
किसका माहौल चल रहा है? लोग आते होंगे यहाँ पे, बात करते होंगे।
फाइट बराबर की है जी, बीजेपी और कांग्रेस की फाइट बराबर की है
पूरे राज्य में।
हाँ हाँ जी।
किसी की बन सकती है?
किसी की भी बन सकती है। थोड़े मार्जिन में ही रहेगा जो कुछ रहेगा।
अच्छा, रोहतक कहते हैं हुड्डा जी का गढ़ है, तो आपको लग रहा है उस गढ़ में कहीं सेंध लग रही है?
ऐसा तो नहीं है। अब भी पिछली बार हुड्डा साहब के विधायक जीते हुए हैं, जो हैं कांग्रेस के हैं, हमारे बीबी बत्रा जी, वो जीते हुए हैं पहले। तो ये फाइट बराबर है। बाकी पब्लिक का मूड है, पब्लिक किस तरफ जाती है किस तरफ नहीं जाती, जनता का मूड है ये।
तो ये जो आप बनाते हो क्या खास है इसमें? ये क्या चीजें कैसे बनाते हो आप?
मोटा आटा होता है।
इधर आ जाए हमारे कैमरे पर्सन, उनको दिखा दीजिए कैसे बनती है।
ये मोटा आटा पिसवाना पड़ता है हमें।
हाँ।
उसकी ये पूड़ी बनती है।
मोटा आटा जरा हमारे दर्शकों को बता दीजिए क्या होता है मोटा आटा?
मोटा आटा मतलब पिसाई करने के लिए जैसे बारीक आटा पिसवाते हैं हम, वैसे मोटा आटा पिसवाना पड़ता है। और उसमें उड़द की दाल की फिलिंग करते हैं।
उड़द की दाल की?
हाँ जी।
हाँ जी।
और ये फिर उसको बनाते हैं।
बढ़िया पूरी बनती है गरम गरम जी। और सब्जी में क्या डलता है सर? आलू की सब्जी जो आप बनाते हो?
सब्जी में हींग डलती है, 30,000
हाँ।
रुपए किलो हींग है।
हाँ।
वो डालते हैं इसमें। आप खाओगे जब आपको पता चलेगा।
And from poll-bound Haryana to poll-bound Jammu and Kashmir, that goes to polls in a matter of 24 hours from now. It's the second phase of assembly elections to decide the fate of 239 candidates, including former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah. After a 61.1% voter turnout, now 25.78 lakh voters will be casting their vote on the 25th of September. From regional parties, pledges to release jail youth to BJP's opposition to restoration of special status, the second phase of campaigning for 26 assembly seats in 6 districts of Jammu and Kashmir. This is with, a huge voter turnout that's expected. Of course, it is Omar Abdullah in the fray, but my colleague Nazir has the details of the other prominent leaders who are also in the fray.
Exactly, around 25,000 lakh people will be deciding the fate of the 26 assembly, on 6 assembly seats. And today, preparations for the polling are underway. Polling staff and the security force are being deployed at their respective places. So it is a prestige battle for all the parties. And who wins this round is expected to win this election or would be the largest party. So this is a very, very challenging task, and we have seen intense campaigning, high-pitched campaigning, because the stakes in this phase was very high. Party chiefs of 3 political parties, BJP, National Conference, and the Congress are contesting in this phase. Omar Abdullah is contesting from 2 seats, Badgam and Gandarbal. Tariq Kara of Congress contesting from Central Shaltang in Srinagar, where Rahul Gandhi yesterday campaigned by him. And similarly, BJP's Ravinder Raina is contesting from this Rajouri's district. So this is, as I said, high-stake battle for all the political parties. And we have seen lots of, during the campaigning, there were allegations and counter-allegations, promises and counter-promises, terrorism, reservation, employment, all these, issues became the central to the issue. Regional parties have their own priorities, the national parties have their own agendas and manifestos.
Right, thank you so much, Nazir, for getting us all those details, and all eyes on the second phase of voting that will start early tomorrow morning. Switching tracks now to Andhra Pradesh, and the sale of Tirumala laddus at the temples being run by the TTD across Andhra Pradesh continued as usual. Over the last 4 days, we've seen over 14 lakh laddus that have been sold, and it is the FSSAI that's issued a show cause notice to the ghee supply. We're talking about AR Dairy. Has been, a show cause notice has been issued to AR Dairy. The temple authority also has set up a sensory panel which will now evaluate food samples on the parameters of aroma, taste and texture. My colleague Uma has the details.
The fact that there has been no dip in the sale of laddus at Tirupati seems to indicate that the trust, belief, faith and also the respect that people have for the Tirupati laddu has not been affected by the recent controversy that broke out after Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu said that animal fat could have been present in the cow ghee that was used to make the Tirupati laddu. What I must point out is that the government got a report yesterday from the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, and even as the FSSAI, which is the Food Standards Authority of India, had issued notices to the AR Dairy, the vendor whose samples seem to have tested positive for animal fat in the cow ghee. The report given by the TTD says that in the last few months, they noticed, rather when the new government took over, they noticed that there had been multiple complaints of lack of quality, and they then realized that the suppliers were giving low quality cow ghee, and that's why they were given warnings, and they were also threatened that they would be blacklisted in case the quality did not improve. Subsequently, we are told only AR Dairy does not seem to have adhered to the standards, and they had supplied about 8 tankers to the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, of which the first 4 tankers, it appears, were used, and the rest of the 4 tankers that came in on the 12th and the 15th of July, samples from there were taken and sent for adulteration testing to NDTV, and subsequently the lab reports seem to indicate that there could be presence of animal fat, including fish tallow, fish oil, beef tallow, as well as lard. Now the notice being issued to this vendor as well, and the Food Safety Authority also issuing the notices to them. On the other hand, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has said that all the measures will be taken to reassure the devotees that the sanctity of the temple and of the laddu is being protected in every possible way. Of course, purification rituals also happened yesterday, including a Shanti Homam.
Thank you, Uma, for getting us all those details. We will keep tracking that story. And like Uma was pointing out, that sales and business as usual when it comes to the laddus at the Tirupati temples. We will keep tracking that story. For now, we're stepping into a short break. Back to the whole lot now.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं, ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। आज ही जाइए पैसाबाजार.com पर और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत किसी को भी कभी भी पड़ सकती है।
चल एक्टिंग थोड़ा भेल बनो।
ये आया बात पैसाबाजार.com।
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं, ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक करें फ्री में पैसाबाजार.com पर। लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
ठीक से एक्टिंग नहीं।
पैसाबाजार.com।
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Nifty is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show. Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code.
Let's get you the latest from Karnataka, where security has been beefed up around the residence of the Chief Minister. This is in regard to the verdict that's going to be pronounced by the Karnataka High Court today. Do remember that the Chief Minister had, made a plea in the High Court in regard to the approval. This is the nod that was given to the governor in order to investigate the Chief Minister in the MUDA scam. So security has been beefed up. In fact, the police presence and security has increased in the city in order as far as the sensitive areas in Bengaluru are concerned, in regard to avoid any kind of untoward incident following the verdict that is expected to be announced within half an hour from now. Let's just listen into what H.K. Patil, the Law Minister of Karnataka, had to say.
This is going to make a big political turn.
We're all expecting justice naturally, and I don't think this issue where you're all in anxiety, I am sure there will be a verdict in favor of Chief Minister, because there is no instance nowhere the Chief Minister has either himself ordered or orally given instructions or wrote anything on the file. When there is no mistake of his, naturally he will get justice.
Sir, as a
So all eyes on that verdict that is expected at 12 o'clock, and it is my colleague Pratibha who has in fact spoken to the RTI activist in this particular case. Let's just listen in to what has been said in regard to this case. We're talking about the activist, one of the complainants in the MUDA scam. My colleague Pratibha has the details.
We have with us Mr. T.J. Abraham, one of the respondents in the case where we are talking about the MUDA verdict today. Sir, what are your expectations from the verdict today?
It should come in my favor.
And
who will expect something against their self? I'm not basing that on the common expectation that everybody who goes to the court should get a favorable order. No. I'm looking at the steps that I've taken, the procedures that I've followed. Where is the fault? I'm supposed to file a complaint to the police. After some time I'm supposed to go to the SP with 154.3. I've done that. And then I'm supposed to seek the sanction. They say why the police are supposed to seek. No, those people who make that, who put forward those arguments, they lack knowledge that this High Court has passed an order last year where the complainant has to go get the private person has to go get the sanction. That is how I approached.
do you also see this as a make or break situation for Mr. Siddaramaiah here?
It's not my concern at all. I am not going to make any political comments on this, because what happens to that? See, my point is to fight corruption. Politics is a different ball game. When I come into that arena, I'll speak about that. That's okay.
What, in case it is a setback for the Chief Minister, what are your next steps after that?
My caveat is there in Delhi. They will go to the Supreme Court and they will file against this order. We will be informed by the court and we will also approach. We will face it there.
Right. And the ultimate destination of your case, where do you want to see it landing?
See, this is a pure case of 14 sites just going without an iota of legal eligibility. You do not have it all here. You come into the picture in 2004 and your wife is saying this, not me. Your wife in 2014 and 2021, based on which the 14 sites have been given, these two letters, 2014, 2021, both these letters, your wife says the MUDA has taken over the land in 2001. So where the hell were you? Your brother-in-law came into the picture in 2004, yeah? Where was that agricultural land which he bought? Simple, common sense.
All eyes on that verdict that's expected within 20 minutes from now. And switching tracks to Mumbai, Metropolitan Region Development Authority has unveiled a groundbreaking infrastructure plan. This is going to be promising to reshape the future as far as connectivity in the financial capital is concerned. The ambitious Ring Road project aims to create a seamless network of roads, flyovers and tunnels that will connect the bustling city of Mumbai to its sprawling metropolitan region. And this mega infrastructure project is expected to be completed by 2029. And my colleague Radhika spoke with the man behind the master plan.
Mr. Mukherjee, first question, of course, give us a comprehensive overview of this project. What does it entail? Which are the areas that it's going to connect? What is the cost and how is it going to make lives of citizens easier as far as City of Mumbai is concerned?
So MMRDA prepares a comprehensive mobility plan of the entire MMR region. And it is MMRDA's endeavor to ensure that connectivity is smoother, and we are continuously trying to reboot the city of Mumbai, and we are trying to give a proper shape, reshape the area of MMR. And the reason behind this is the enormous economic importance that MMR has. And as we speak, MMR area contributes something like to 4.6% of the national GDP. And even BKC by itself contributes something shy of 3% of the national GDP. So that is the importance of this particular area. Now, the idea is that, pedestrians first. So pedestrians are at the ground level. Cars will have to be at a higher level or at a lower level. Second, public transport. So whatever you do, that should be integrated with the metro network. That is the second thing. Third, environmental sustainability. So you choose the location and the corridor where it is the most easiest to take up the activity.
So if you can briefly explain to us the connectivity.
Yes. So if you look into it, a lot of this work is already ongoing. Like the Mumbai Coastal Road. This is being executed by the BMC. Then you have the, so if you take the island city, the Mumbai Coastal Road is being executed by the BMC. MMRDA is constructing the Worli to Shivdi Sea Link. This connects to the Eastern Freeway and to the MTHL here. And then from the Eastern Freeway, MMRDA is executing this Orange Gate Tunnel as we speak. So this.
Breaking news coming in regard to Mollywood in the MeToo probe. The accused actor Mukesh is being questioned by the SIT. The Special Investigation Team is questioning the actor and the MLA Mukesh that is now being questioned in regard to the case. This is the SIT questioning the actor and the CPM MLA Mukesh in Kochi. The SIT is questioning him, and this is in the sexual harassment case. This after the actor was granted anticipatory bail in that particular case. And we have my colleague Ishika joining us to get us more on this. Ishika, is this routine procedure as far as the questioning by the SIT is concerned, even though the actor has got anticipatory bail?
Well, Divya, if you remember, there were cases of, sexual assault that were filed against actor and MLA Mukesh, in which, in fact, the SIT was, in fact, planning to summon him for interrogation. But at that time, we did see that he had approached the Ernakulam, Principal Sessions Court seeking the anticipatory bail plea. Thus, even the police was, in fact, monitoring this particular case. But when he was given this anticipatory bail by the Ernakulam Principal Session Court, the condition that is very, very important here, Divya, the condition that was mentioned here, that he will have to appear before the investigating officer on any day for the interrogation in this particular case. And thus, now the police, in fact, had called him for questioning, and now the questioning is underway in Ernakulam. The SIT, in fact, is questioning him in, in this particular case that was filed against him by the actor. In fact, by the actor who also, in fact, filed case against several other Mollywood heavyweights. So in that, in that regard of sexual assault case, the questioning is currently underway for MLA Mukesh. Remember, and also which we broke on NDTV here, is that his party, that is also in the government, did not ask for his resignation, even though there was a lot of, protest that we saw on the streets of Kerala. And in fact, there were several excuses that were given by the party saying, that even though there are cases against the Congress MLAs, they have not resigned, then why should Mukesh resign? So all of this only in fact amped up the anger that was there among the public. So now the police in fact is going forward with the case. They are currently, the SIT team that has been formed by the state government is currently questioning the CPM MLA Mukesh, but certainly after this the trouble will mount for MLA Mukesh. Over to you.
Right, as trouble mounts for actor Siddique, as well as the Kerala High Court in fact dismissed the bail application of the actor. So his bail plea, his anticipatory bail has been dismissed by Kerala High Court, and now from Ishika what we are hearing is that he's moved the Supreme Court.
Well, today only, it was a big setback for actor Siddique. He's also a Mollywood heavyweight against whom there were grave charges of rape that were leveled against him. And today the Kerala High Court has in fact dismissed his anticipatory bail plea. Remember that he had in fact approached the Kerala High Court after, calling it nothing but, a conspiracy against him. And also in his petition, he had mentioned that the complainant in this case had made allegations against him even in 2019, but she has in fact changed the details just so that she can get him booked, under non-bailable offences. So this was what, he had mentioned in his petition, but it was a big setback for him. The Kerala High Court has now dismissed that anticipatory bail plea. But what we are getting to know from our sources, Divya, is that now actor Siddique is going to move to Supreme Court. He is certainly waiting for the order copy to come from the High Court, and after that actor Siddique will be moving to Supreme Court. So now certainly this Mollywood MeToo moment that we have been covering, Divya, on NDTV, now it is certainly going to reach the top court. So that will also be very, very important as to now, after the entry of the top court in this, where will this entire MeToo moment go, in which direction? Because we have seen that there have been voices from both the sides. Over to you.
Right, Ishika, we will keep tracking that story and coming back to you for more on that. Switching tracks now to Madhya Pradesh and private buses rule. As far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, the government bus network almost defunct and no respite from high ticket prices. When will this monopoly really end is the big question. This is in regard to the second biggest state in the country, which does not have, when we talk about the infrastructure, as far as buses are concerned, Madhya Pradesh's private buses, which are, asking for a very high fare, and the commuters are facing major issues when it comes to government buses, which are very few as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned.
तो 5 रुपया हम सीवर से घूम के वापस आ जाते पहले सरकारी बस चलती जब
पहले कम था बहुत समय पहले कम था अब बढ़ गया
Bhopal's Nadra bus stand, a constant rush of passengers, be it morning or evening. Though there are only 40 seats in the bus, somehow nearly 70 passengers are crammed in. With no one to check, fares are charged arbitrarily. Bhagwan Das, a resident of Tikamgarh, works in a brick kiln in Bhopal. He travels to his village once a month, but just the travel costs him over 1,000 rupees. He earns 300 rupees a day, barely enough to cover his travel.
बस का किराया 520 रुपया है और हमें जाने में बहुत महीने में 1-2 बार जाते हैं पैसा भी कम कमाते हैं और बहुत दिक्कत आती है।
अच्छा, कितना पैसा कमाते हैं आप?
300-400 रुपए कमाते हैं दिन का।
ठीक है, और कितना किराया है?
520 रुपए।
Man Singh Gaur is a regular on such buses. Travelling from Obedullah Ganj to Sehor, Man Singh recalled how fares were lower when government buses were operational.
5 रुपया हम सीवर से घूम के वापस आ जाते पहले सरकारी बस चलती जब अब जो प्राइवेट है तो लूट रही है से जितने समझ आ रहे ले रहा है सवारी खूब भर रहा है खड़े होने का जगह नहीं है चलना चाहिए बस है सरकारी बस तो चलना चाहिए.
This situation is not limited to Bhopal. We travelled with passengers from remote areas and heard their struggles firsthand. In 2005, the Madhya Pradesh State Road Transportation Corporation was shut down, citing heavy losses. Though no official gazette notification has been issued till date, Since then, private operators have taken over and continue to violate rules and operate without proper checks. The decision to shut down the Transport Corporation was taken by then CM Babu Lal Gaur. The corporation was said to be running a loss of 756 crore rupees with liabilities amounting to 1,033 crore rupees. With 2 government buses on the roads, private buses operate freely, breaking rules and overloading passengers. Many buses operate without valid permits or fitness checks, even though the state has witnessed several major road accidents. In 2021, 54 people died in a bus accident in Siddhi. In 2023, 13 people were burned alive in a bus accident in Guna. In 2022, 13 people lost their lives in a bus accident in Dhar. Many more were injured in bus accidents in Balaghat, Pandurna and Rajghat. The government is considering restarting the public transport system, but it remains in its early stages.
लंबे समय से हम लोग इस विषय में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के निर्देश थे, उस पर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं और मुख्यमंत्री जी का ये मानना है कि अगर संभावना बनती है तो ग्रामीण परिवहन को शुरू किया जाना चाहिए.
Interestingly, many private buses are owned by politicians. A survey shows that more than 50% of buses belong to influential political figures. 50% of the buses are owned by prominent leaders of the BJP and Congress. 68 bus operators are former BJP MLAs and district heads. About 10 major bus operators are linked to the Congress. There are 37,276 buses registered in the Transport Department's records in the state. Of these, 19,000 belong to educational institutions, while the remaining 18,276 are passenger buses, out of which over 9,000 belong to politicians.
The roads of Madhya Pradesh are full of unregulated private buses, leaving the common people to deal with expensive and crowded rides. As government weighs its option, the biggest question remains that when will the public transport return to the roads? With camera person Abhishek Singh from Bhopal, Amritanshi Joshi for NDTV.
Switching tracks now to the United States, and it's Prime Minister Modi's 3-day US visit that's come to an end. And just before wrapping up the visit, the Prime Minister made a big push for peace. He met on the sidelines with the Ukrainian President Zelensky, and this comes a day after he met with the Palestinian President as well in New York. This was the second meeting as far as the two leaders, whether it's the Indian leader or the Ukrainian leader, in about a month's time. Prime Minister Modi had visited Ukraine on the 23rd of August and reiterated India's willingness to contribute in all possible ways to facilitate an early return of peace in the conflict. Now, a joint statement followed the meeting between the two leaders that have gone on to express how mutual interest in working towards elevating bilateral relations from a comprehensive partnership to a strategic partnership in the future. And of course, the Prime Minister has gone on to say that there is no place for war when also reiterating its time for peace. Listen in.
Success of humanity lies in our collective strength, not in the battlefield. और वैश्विक शांति एवं विकास के लिए ग्लोबल संस्थाओं में रिफॉर्म्स आवश्यक है.
And that's the Prime Minister there reiterating India's willingness to, bring about peace in the conflict when it comes to Ukraine and other areas of the world. With that, we're slipping in a very short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
And gold prices are at an all-time high. We're talking about 76,000 rupees for 10 grams of gold. So this is just ahead of the festive season, which has resulted in the prices going off the charts.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
बस एक्टिंग करा लो इनसे।
पैसाबाजार.com, क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक, आदत अच्छी है।
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
Breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। आज ही जाइए पैसाबाजार.com पर और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत किसी को भी कभी भी पड़ सकती है।
चल एक्टिंग थोड़ा भेल बनो।
ए आया बात बोल। पैसाबाजार.com।
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Nifty is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया. One world hygiene.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From maximum city, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Election sun rises on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching the 12 o'clock news. I'm Rishika Barua. The big focus story for us is the Karnataka High Court verdict in the MUDA case. We'll get you all the latest action from ground zero. First up, a quick check on the headlines. The Karnataka High Court to pass its verdict in Chief Minister Siddaramaia's plea challenging the approval granted by the governor to investigate the Chief Minister in the MUDA case. The Mollywood MeToo case, actor Siddiqui's anticipatory bail has been rejected. Sources say the rape-accused actor is now mulling moving the Supreme Court. This as the SIT questions actor and CPIM MLA Mukesh in Kochi. Amid the Tirupati Prasad Rao, sales of the laddus continue as usual. There's been no dip in sale. According to reports, over 14 lakh laddus have been sold in 4 days. This is the FSSAI has issued a show cause notice to the Tirupati ghee supplier. And the big battle for the state of Haryana, NDTV tracks the poll pulse from ground zero. Will rebels play spoil spot for both the Congress and the BJP? NDTV caught up with both Savitri Jindal, who's hit out at the BJP, and Chitra Sarwara, who has jabbed the Congress. Both were denied tickets by the respective parties. Phase 2 of the Jammu and Kashmir polls. Tomorrow, 239 candidates, including Omar Abdullah, in the fray. Well, with the MUDA scam verdict to be pronounced shortly, the Karnataka state and Bengaluru specifically is now in a state of alert. Senior officers have issued notices to all commissionerates and all district SPs, DCPs to increase vigil, especially in sensitive areas, in case there are any kinds of protests or riots or sit-in protests post the verdict. Notice has also been issued to ensure precautions are taken to avoid any untoward incidents. Anyone protesting is instructed to go to Freedom Park. There has been a notice, of course, for heightened patrolling in several areas as well. The Karnataka High Court, remember, will be pronouncing a verdict today on the petition that has been filed by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah challenging the approval that's been granted by Governor Thawarchand Gehlot to investigate him in the MUDA land allotment case. The Karnataka Chief Minister, remember, is facing prosecution over alleged irregularities related to the alleged scam, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because his wife is also one of the people who is in question over here. Before we get to the details of what is the scam and what are the possible political ramifications of this verdict, and NDTV's Veera Raghav will join us live from Bengaluru to decode that for us. Let's just listen in to what one of the RTI activists, one of the complainants in the MUDA scam, has in fact told my colleague Pratibha.
We have with us Mr. TJ Abraham, one of the respondents in the case where we are talking about the MUDA verdict today. Sir, what are your expectations from the verdict today?
It should come in my favor.
And
who will expect something against their self? I'm not basing that on the common expectation that everybody who goes to the court should get a favorable order. No. I'm looking at the steps that I've taken, the procedures that I've followed. Where is the fault? I'm supposed to file a complaint to the police. After some time, I'm supposed to go to the SP with 154.3. I've done that. And then I'm supposed to seek the sanction. They say why the police are supposed to seek. No, those people who make that, who put forward those arguments, they lack knowledge that this High Court has passed an order last year where the complainant has to go get the private person has to go get the sanction. That is how I approached.
Do you also see this as a make or break situation for Mr. Siddaramaiah here?
It's not my concern at all. I am not going to make any political comments on this, because what happens to that? See, my point is to fight corruption. Politics is a different ball game. When I come into that arena, I'll speak about that. That's okay.
What, in case it is a setback for the Chief Minister, what are your next steps after that?
My caveat is there in Delhi. They will go to the Supreme Court and they will file against this order. We will be informed by the court and we will also approach. We will face it there.
Right. And the ultimate destination of your case, where do you want to see it landing?
See, this is a pure case of 14 sites just going without an iota of legal eligibility. You do not have it all yet. You come into the picture in 2004 and your wife is saying this, not me. Your wife in 2014 and 2021, based on which the 14 sites have been given, these two letters, 2014, 2021, both these letters, your wife says the MUDA has taken over the land in 2001. So where the hell were you? Your brother-in-law came into the picture in 2004, yeah? Where was that agricultural land which he bought? Simple, common sense.
And NDTV's Veera Raghav now joins us live from Bengaluru. Before we get into the politics of this, Veera, I also want to very briefly tell our viewers, what is the MUDA scam? What does it really involve? It's essentially got to do with discrepancies in land allotment, and some beneficiaries, allegedly the Chief Minister's wife, got some prime property at inflated value. So therefore, the entire allegation against the Chief Minister is quite grave, because the allegation says that norms were violated in order to allot the higher priced land to the Chief Minister's wife. That verdict is going to come in shortly. We're given to understand the judge is already assembled, Veera. What more can you tell us about this big test for Siddaramaiah?
Nishika, you seem to have explained the case itself in your question, but primarily it's a compensation allotment of land that was given not just to the Chief Minister's wife, several other beneficiaries as well, who have compensation land for land that was acquired by MUDA. The question really is that where was the land given and what was the value of compensation and what loss to the exchequer did it create? When you acquire farmland and you give sites, the entire process seems to have been flawed, and prima facie, the process itself was flawed. But the question that Siddaramaiah has raised is that this was not when I was Chief Minister. The allotment happened when BJP was in power. So that's one part of it. What is this verdict that's going to come today, and why is it extremely important? Look, I think it would be sending a wrong signal to call this the MUDA verdict. This is purely a verdict on whether the governor of the state was legally right in according sanction for prosecution of the Chief Minister when the cabinet, since the Chief Minister had advised the governor that prosecution should not be given for, sanction should not be given for prosecution of the Chief Minister. So the verdict today is on whether the Chief Minister can be prosecuted, A. B, was the governor legally right in according to the sanction? The argument of the Chief Minister and the Chief Minister's counsel, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, is that the governor cannot assume that the cabinet's advice is biased in this case, and the governor ought to be going by the advice of the state cabinet. The argument of the governor is that in 2004 Madhya Pradesh case, the courts have held that if there is a prima facie case, the governor is allowed to sanction prosecution of the public official in concern.
Right.
Look, remember, for prosecution of a public official, Rishika, you need the sanction of the authority capable of dismissing that public official. And in this case, for the chief minister, it is the governor. Hence, this case becomes important. Now, very briefly, Rishika, why is this important? If the case goes against Siddaramaiah in the court, and the court upholds the sanction for prosecution as legal, then it would mean that the chief minister will have to face prosecution. And then the question of moral right to remain in power will come into question. Whether a chief minister who's facing prosecution can remain in power or not. If it goes against him, then he has no prosecution to face.
Yes.
And hence he would have had a big victory and longevity in office.
But, Veera, before we get into merits of the case and what's happening in court, it's very interesting that you talk about the morality on whether or not Siddaramaiah should or shouldn't continue as chief minister if the verdict that's expected to come shortly doesn't go in his favor. In Delhi, for instance, we've had a chief minister who's been running the government, so to speak, via a proxy, as it may be, from the Tihar jail. So that's just a parallel to be drawn. But the question here is that he managed to do so. In the case of the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, he managed to do so because he had the support of the Aam Aadmi Party rank and file. In Siddaramaiah's case, while of course, the BJP has trained its guns on the chief minister, does the Congress have its house in order to throw its weight behind the chief minister should the verdict not go in his favor today?
I think it would be unfair at this stage to draw a conjuncture on whether the Congress house in order, because so far the Congress seems to have batted completely behind the chief minister. But yes, you're right. Given Arvind Kejriwal's example, will Siddaramaiah have the same hold over the party? Will there be other dissenting factions which want to aspire for the chief minister's post? Will they start playing out? But I think for the moment, the Congress seems to be united because, look, this is a double-edged battle, right, Rishika? It's also a battle between Raj Bhavan and the state government.
Veera,
how far can the government?
Breaking news that is coming in at the moment. It's a setback for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The petition of the Chief Minister has in fact been dismissed, which essentially means that the Karnataka High Court has ruled in favor of a probe being conducted against the Chief Minister. So that's the big verdict that is coming in at the moment. Veera, we're given to understand that the Karnataka High Court has said that there can be a probe against the Chief Minister.
I'm still waiting for confirmation on this and the exact details from our reporter Pratibha Raman, who's inside the court. I don't have that categorical confirmation because remember, it's a complex case and one needs to listen very carefully and go through the context of the order, what has been dismissed, if it has been dismissed, the exact details before we arrive at a conclusion on what this really means. So we may have to just hold our horses a bit there, Rishika, till we get clarity. But as you're mentioning,
we have Pratibha sending us these details from inside the court. Veera, we are getting.
So Pratibha has sent this information. That the complaint.
Yes, Pratibha has sent this information, and I'll just tell you very quickly what Pratibha has said. What's happened in court essentially, while dismissing the petition challenging this governor's sanction, the Karnataka High Court has maintained that the complainants were justified in pursuing the complaint and seeking approval at the hands of the governor. So that is essentially a big win for the complainants in this case and a big setback for Siddaramaiah, is it not?
Remember, if this is what is the order, which says that there is no fault found in the governor's actions as far as the order is concerned, which is the message that's come from Pratibha, that the governor did apply his mind in abundance, which is how the court has held, then it would mean that prosecution against Siddaramaiah, which was stayed until this verdict, will resume. Now, this is a huge setback for the chief minister. A, as I mentioned, because the prosecution will go forward. Yes. And B, as you mentioned, what will happen to the internal dynamics and the question of moral authority will come into play. May not immediately, but one will have to see how this plays out in the next coming days. Because just pointing out, Rishika, that the chief minister will also challenge this order in the High Court, just as the petitioners would have challenged it had it gone the other way. And also underlining, this again will become an important order because a High Court is a court of record on the powers of a governor to issue sanction to a chief minister, even when a cabinet advises against such a procedure.
So this is an important precedent. This is an important precedent that the Karnataka High Court has essentially set because the judge, while delivering this verdict against the chief minister,
has said very categorically, and again, this is information that our colleague Pratibha Raman is sending us from inside the courtroom, that under normal circumstances, it is the duty of the governor to act on the advice of the Council of Ministers, but he can take an independent decision in exceptional circumstances. Present case is one such exception.
And just pointing out that the governor's argument before the court was the 2004 Madhya Pradesh Special Police Establishment versus State of Madhya Pradesh case here, where the governor could prima facie act irrespective of what the cabinet advises in this case. Look, the governor versus government, state government battles have been playing out in several states, and this was another crucial question in terms of accordance of sanction for prosecution. One has to wait for more details of the order. We hope to get those from Pratibha, but the initial information that she shared with us from inside the court is that the petition challenging the sanction of prosecution of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the High Court has been dismissed by the High Court. It's likely that the Chief Minister, in fact, it's almost certain that the Chief Minister and his legal team will challenge this order in the Supreme Court. But it is a blow for Siddaramaiah. Had it gone the other way, the petitioners would have also challenged it. But this would mean that given till the Supreme Court or a higher court intervenes in this matter, the prosecution against Siddaramaiah can proceed.
Okay, in fact, we're given to understand now, Veera, that Abhishek Manu Singhvi, appearing on behalf of the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, also sought an extension of the interim stay. He sought an extension of the interim stay for another 2 weeks, and that is also something that was denied to the judge. So essentially what this means, if I'm not wrong, is that the probe will begin immediately.
No, the prosecution, the FIR, filing of an FIR, the legal prosecution process against the Chief Minister will begin till the Supreme Court or till they get legal redressal to this measure from the High Court. It is quite, one would expect that a stay would not have been granted by the High Court if it has dismissed the petition overall. And the order seems categorical. Obviously, as I'm mentioning again here, Rishika, one has to wait for the context and the details of the order. But from what Pratibha has reported to us, the High Court has held that the governor did apply his mind in abundance and no fault found in the governor's actions as far as the order of August 1st is concerned, which gave sanction to prosecution of the Chief Minister. The petition was filed by the Chief Minister, remember, challenging that order on the 19th of August, and the High Court has dismissed that petition challenging the governor's order. So which means prosecution can go ahead against the Chief Minister. We'll have to wait for Pratibha Raman to come out of the court to give us more details if we can join her.
Right. In fact, we are hoping to get Pratibha live in just a moment from now, Veera, but I also want to tell you we're getting live shots of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah as he attends an event. It's the inauguration of a Mobility Exposition 2024, I'm told. Live visuals of the Chief Minister addressing an event in Bengaluru that are in fact coming in at the moment. But you know, an important point that was made, Veera, about the fact that this is essentially a judgment that not just has consequences for the Chief Minister himself, but also about the future of the government in Karnataka. How does this now play out politically? What are you picking up?
Look, with 135 plus MLAs and with the kind of majority that the Karnataka government enjoys, I think the Congress itself would seem extremely confident at the moment. However, this is a blow. How Siddaramaiah reacts to this, what the next stages are, how the Congress party reacts to it. So far, the entire cabinet has been united behind the Chief Minister, claiming this is an entire political witch hunt against him and that there was no illegalities or wrongdoings on his part. This has been the public stand taken by the entire Congress leadership in the state and the center. Now, post this, will there be a question mark over that? How will the internal dynamics of the Congress play? Because it is an open secret that there are leaders in the Congress party who have publicly and privately expressed their desire to occupy the post of Chief Minister. So far, of course, most senior leaders have said the post of Chief Minister is not vacant. Siddaramaiah has remained firm and strong as far as his position is concerned. I believe we can go across to Pratibha as well, who's just joining us from outside the High Court.
Yes, Pratibha, tell us what happened in court. Break it down for us.
Well, in fact, it was a quick presentation of the judge there, who was present sharp at 12 noon, and he began to narrate the facts and the findings as far as this case is concerned. He spoke about how the governor did apply his mind. In fact, the application of mind was in abundance, was one of the observations that was made by the judge there. He also went on to talk about how this petition that has been put forth by the Chief Minister challenging the permission for prosecution needs a definite investigation, and also spoke about how the governor can act independently as far as this particular case is concerned. The order does not suffer from non-application of mind. The facts narrated in the petition needs investigation, and hence the petition stands dismissed. Mr. Singhvi, representing the Chief Minister, did ask for extension in terms of the interim stay that was given as far as the jurisdictional courts are concerned, where it was a definite relief for the Chief Minister then. And he sought an extension for about 2 weeks, which was denied by the judge. And he said that by 2:30 this order would be put forth at the court's website, and soon after which the jurisdictional courts will be acting on this. The complainants or the respondents who did first approach the court, as well as the police and the governor, in terms of seeking investigation in the MUDA allegations, all of them are right now sub judice, and those will also continue as far as the jurisdictional courts are concerned. Now, the key question is what would be the counter strategy of the Congress government? Back to
Right. Pratibha, also, yes, Veera, go ahead.
Rishika, sorry, I just wanted to point out here that with this verdict, the political fallout, I think, is something that needs to be focused on at the moment. You had reported just now, and Pratibha has reported, that there were several measures taken by authorities to ensure that there was no gathering or no protest that was allowed post this verdict. They were taking several measures. But Pratibha, from what you're gathering, the Chief Minister's the Chief Minister, other Congress leaders, what are you picking up? Obviously, they were anticipating it. Obviously, they're bound to move to the Supreme Court, move the Supreme Court on this case. But interim, do you believe that the dissenting factions in the Congress party, which have openly vied or eyed the post of Chief Minister, do you see them striking now? Or do you believe that they're going to remain united till there is more clarity on this case from the Supreme Court?
Well, there is definitely going to be a counter strategy playing out by the Chief Minister. In fact, like you pointed out, Veera,
All right,
yes,
I'm going to interrupt you, Pratibha, for just a moment, because we're getting a live reaction from the petitioner. Let's just listen in. Do stay with us.
I'll leave the field to my counsel to speak.
How do you see this order, sir? See, the writ, I think we can move there, right? Yeah. Okay. So how do you see this order? The writ petition. Okay. The writ petition challenging the order of approval passed by His Excellency the Honorable Governor of Karnataka has been dismissed, and the summary of the judgment would be that the facts envisaged in the complaint would undoubtedly warrant investigation, firstly, and secondly, the act.
Yes, sir. Your first reaction after the verdict.
See, the summary that we have heard now is absolutely in expected lines. I just spoke a little while ago, and accordingly, the orders come. We were expecting.
If they approach the Supreme Court, what would be your
caveat? We filed a caveat. We have filed a caveat. Yes, sir.
And how do you think the political fallout of this would be?
I'm not going to speak anything political at all. Political fallout is not my concern.
So that was Mr. TJ Abraham refusing to talk about the political fallout, but has said that he has already applied a caveat as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, and that he is willing to fight it at the Supreme Court in case the Chief Minister knocks the doors of the top court as well.
Yes.
Back to you.
He was very confident that the verdict would go in his favor, even when you interviewed him earlier, Pratibha, ahead of the verdict. But just taking off from the question that Veera asked you, what are you picking up from your sources within the Congress at the moment? How do you think this is going to play out politically within the Congress party?
I'm not sure Pratibha was able to catch that question.
We seem to have lost that line. We seem to have lost that line.
Just to answer that question to you, from what I'm picking up, and I'll tell you this, it's not going to be an immediate... look, there are several factions, as I pointed out, within the Congress, which are waiting, which have been waiting. And remember that the timing of this case also comes post the 2024 election verdict. So there are several political factors at play, and Siddaramaiah is no easy nut to crack. Look, there will be internal jostling, but in public, the Congress, I think at least the state leadership, would put a united front. How this plays out in the next coming days, how Siddaramaiah himself tries to negate the fallout of this, on the legal side, one aspect of it, on the political side, another aspect of it, would be important to watch out for. Eventually, I think there will be potentially a change midterm. That's been the talk as far as the Congress is concerned. How, when, one has to wait and watch. This definitely puts him in a weaker position at the moment. Rishika.
Well, it definitely puts him in a weaker position, but there are going to be several questions now, Veera, that are going to be asked. And of course, like you explained at the very outset, I think it's important to remember that this is not a verdict per se in terms of the MUDA case. This is only a verdict that has gone against the Chief Minister in favor of the Governor, allowing for an investigation to take place. So I think that's important. There is no presumption of guilt.
You made the point of Arvind Kejriwal. This is being seen as a political case, Raj Bhavan versus state government. So the question of moral authority, when you are being probed, will come into light. And I think the crucial question that you pointed out, will he have the backing that Arvind Kejriwal and his Aam Aadmi Party gave to Arvind Kejriwal? Or will there be internal factions in the Congress? And there are internal factions in the Congress. I think it will unravel later than sooner.
Well, Delhi is a small state and Aam Aadmi Party is a much smaller party. The game is very different when it comes to the Congress. But Pratibha, both Veera and I were trying to ask you that question earlier. So if you can hear us at the moment, what are you picking up from your sources? How is this likely to hit the Congress politically speaking, or rather the defectors within the Congress or those eyeing the Chief Minister's post?
Well, even though they have been eyeing the Chief Minister's post, all of them have been maintaining one stand, and that is that the Chief Minister's post is not vacant right now. And they have also been suggesting that the High Command is also standing with the Chief Minister at this point in time, and that the judge has already pointed out, yes, this paves the way forward with respect to the investigation in the MUDA scam. And until then, whether the political future of Mr. Siddaramaiah as the Chief Minister of Karnataka will continue or not remains a key question right now. However, the Chief Minister as well as other Congress leaders have maintained that this will have absolutely no impact on Siddaramaiah's continuance as the Chief Minister, but all eyes are on how this would really pave the way in terms of the strategy that would play out. One is definitely to approach the Supreme Court, for which Mr. TJ Abraham has already answered, stating that this would definitely be fought at the Supreme Court as well. In fact, I have with me one other petitioner, Mr. Snehamai Krishna, who had also approached the police earlier as far as the MUDA allegations go, all of them claiming that they would be fighting this at the Supreme Court as well. But in terms of this particular MUDA allegation, the BJP definitely went hammer and tongs demanding the resignation of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah there. And we'll have to wait to see the kind of reactions that we would pick up from the BJP. We have with us the petitioners. I'm going live on NDTV. If you can just give us one or two reactions.
ಸರ್, ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜಯ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಜಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವ್ರ ವಿಚಾರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಥರ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು ಯಾವ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ದುರ್ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಕ್ರಮ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಗಳಿಸೋದು ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯ ಗಂಟೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶವೂ ಅದೇ, ಈ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಪ್ರಕರಣ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ದುರ್ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಯಲಿಗಿಳೋದು ಅಂಥವ್ರು ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ.
ನೀವು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹೋರಾಟವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ದಾಖಲಾತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ CM ಅವರ ಪಾತ್ರ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆರೋಪಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎದುರಾಳಿಗಳು. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ CM ಅವರ ಪಾತ್ರ?
ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರೋಪಿಗಳು ತಾವು ಏನೋ ಅಪರಾಧ ಕೃತ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸಾಬೀತುಪಡಿಸೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಪಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾನ್ಯ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯ ಗಮನಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮಾನ್ಯ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯ ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಮನಿಸಿ
His point is definitely to suggest that the chief minister did misuse his powers in terms of the land allotment there, and this definitely proves to be a key example as far as those people in power as well as public servants are concerned. This would definitely work as a warning symbol as well as a wake-up sign for different other legislators as well. But we'll have to wait to see what would be the reaction that we would pick up from the chief minister there.
Well, that's a very, Pratibha, that's a very important point that, all are essentially, yes, that's an important point that all are essentially equal in the eyes of the law, and what this verdict has essentially done today is allow for a free and fair probe to take place against the chief minister. But the larger question also remains not just what is going to happen within the Congress, but what's going to be the strategy of the BJP going forward, because they are going to continue to up the ante against the chief minister.
Rishi,
Well, they have been relentlessly protesting and demanding the resignation of the chief minister. And this would definitely be one of the milestones achieved by the BJP, has been one of the reactions that we've picked up from their end. But this would also pave the way forward in terms of the permission for prosecution that is lying with the governor as far as other opposition leaders are concerned. And that has been another strategy that would also be adopted by the Congress, because time and again they have been speaking about the preferential treatment given by the governor as far as the permission for prosecution is concerned. One, with respect to the chief minister, and two, with respect to the BJP leaders or the JDS leaders there.
Right, Veera, you wanted to come in.
Importantly, just adding to it, look, Rishika, there are two very important aspects one need to take out of the MUDA controversy. What was Siddaramaia's great stature in Karnataka politics compared to, let's say, DK Shivkumar? It's that he had a clean image, that there was no charge of corruption against him, there was no case that he was trapped in. That is where the biggest weakness comes. It's that image that takes a dent with the MUDA controversy, and that's why his negotiating power and his stature as the tallest leader for Karnataka, along with, B.S. Yediyurappa is the other leader as far as Karnataka politics is concerned, who has the stature of Siddaramaiah. Yediyurappa was tainted by corruption charges, and Siddaramaiah stood above the rest because he did not face a case of corruption. Now, when there is prosecution, remember that stature takes a dent. He is one of the longest serving chief ministers in Karnataka, the only chief minister to have completed a full 5-year term and returned to office in the last, in many years. I'm not sure there is an example in history of a chief minister who's completed a full 5-year term and then returned to office. Why was that possible? Because of that stature. Now, that's what's taken a dent as far as the MUDA controversy is concerned. The political jostling in public, there will be a united front put up by the Congress, a categorical united front put up by the Congress for the moment, but over a period of time, the political jostling will intensify in Karnataka.
Yes, also, political jostling in terms of, where I remember when the Congress won the election in Karnataka, there was a lot of talk between how the Congress is going to play that balancing act between a DK Shivkumar, who's known as the troubleshooter of the party, vis-a-vis Siddaramaiah, who's clearly the mass leader as far as the Congress in Karnataka is concerned. But having said that, Veera, just stepping aside from the politics of it all, at the moment we're getting live visuals on our screens, and those, I'm told, are from outside Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's residence, where security has been beefed up. Now, as we said earlier as well, there's been a notification that has been issued. Bengaluru and other parts of Karnataka have been put on high alert following this verdict. So, Veera, that's a very real, a very real thing as well. The fact that there's been a high alert that's been sounded, the law and order situation in the city of Bengaluru and the state of Karnataka, are being closely monitored at the moment in order to avoid any untoward incidents, or even protesters have been asked to all go to Freedom Park.
I think
they are anticipating some kind of protest or trouble.
No, I think it would be, it's purely just a precautionary measure. I think given the fact that Siddaramaiah is at the helm of affairs, and Siddaramaiah is the administration is firmly with the Congress, and it's an extremely stable administration, I think that would be an extreme thought. It's I think an extreme, that would be something that we don't need to think about at this stage. But yes, as a precautionary measure, given the political sensitivity of this verdict, given the political implications of this verdict, just to avoid any kind of protest by any side, which can, disrupt traffic or result in any kind of problems locally is really the concern. Nothing beyond that. I think we can discount that possibility at the moment.
Okay, so more precautionary than anything else, but an alert anyway. Live visuals that we're getting to you from outside the Chief Minister's residence. Several angles to this big developing story on NDTV. It's a big setback for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Essentially, the Karnataka High Court today has validated the governor's decision of ordering a probe against the Chief Minister in the alleged MUDA scam. This is a land allotment scam where land norms were violated and higher price land allegedly awarded to the Chief Minister's wife. Many questions now will need to be answered. A probe will be conducted against the Chief Minister. He'd, of course, petitioned the court saying that, the governor's order of ordering a probe should be stopped in its track. But no interim stay. The probe will begin, and there will be political ramifications for the Congress party. There will be rumblings within the Congress party and, of course, several attacks from the BJP. We'll get you a 360-degree view on this big developing story. Both Veera and Pratibha will continue to be live with us. Short break. We'll bring you a lot more on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं, ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक करें फ्री में पैसाबाजार.com पर। लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
ठीक से एक्टिंग नहीं।
पैसाबाजार.com।
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always bustling. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Nifty is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
लोन मिलेगा या नहीं ये आपके क्रेडिट स्कोर पे डिपेंड करता है। तो आज ही पैसाबाजार.com पर जाइए और अपना क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक कीजिए फ्री में, क्योंकि लोन की जरूरत कभी भी किसी को भी पड़ सकती है।
बस एक्टिंग करा लो इनसे।
पैसाबाजार.com, क्रेडिट स्कोर चेक, आदत अच्छी है।
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your life.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of power, Delhi,
NDTV brings you the best breakfast show.
breakfast news on NDTV, 8 a.m. every day.
Election sunrise is on the proverbial paradise. Jammu and Kashmir gets set to vote in assembly elections after a gap of 10 years.
For the BJP, it's a referendum on Article 370. For the Congress and regional parties, it's a battle for survival. An election that will go down in the history. Watch the most comprehensive, the most nuanced, and the most power-packed coverage only on NDTV.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of
Welcome back. You're watching our continuous coverage of the big MUDA verdict that's been delivered in the Karnataka High Court. Essentially, the Karnataka High Court has allowed for a probe to be conducted against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The MUDA scam, as it's called, involves discrepancies in land allotment. Some beneficiaries allegedly got more compensation. Land allotment was done in areas with inflated values, and the Karnataka Chief Minister's wife allegedly was allotted a higher price land. The allegation against the Chief Minister is that norms are violated to allot that higher price land to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's wife. The Governor, Thawarchand Gehlot, had ordered for a probe, had given his assent for a probe to take place against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Chief Minister had petitioned the Karnataka High Court to essentially halt that probe against him, saying the governor has to act on the advice of the Council of Ministers. But the Karnataka High Court, in its wisdom, has said that no, there are exceptional circumstances under which the governor can essentially go ahead and order that probe. And therefore, now the MUDA scam, as it's called, will be probed, and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's role will be under the scanner. That's a nutshell of the developments that have taken place so far. What does this mean politically for the state of Karnataka? NDTV's Veera Raghav continues to be live with us. We're also joined by BJP spokesperson Prashant GS and Congress spokesperson Lavanya Balal. The BJP spokesperson, Prashant, to you first, your first reaction to the verdict in the Karnataka High Court.
See, we welcome the law of the land, we welcome the judgment, and we sincerely hope that Siddaramaiah stays true to his words, who in the past had spoken about Yediyurappaji when the matter came up in the case of Yediyurappa 10 years ago, saying, if at all something against me is sanctioned, I am the first one to resign. Now, we are waiting for CM's resignation. He ought to have resigned half an hour back, if not, so it's already delayed. So the man who claims himself to be a champion of social justice and that he has always stood up for poor, now he stands in the court as accused. The sanction has been given to conduct the inquiry. So impartial inquiry to be conducted, which means CM should step down immediately. There is no truth in it, and BJP would demand that CM should now resign immediately, because now he cannot say his appeal will be pending in the Supreme Court or he wants to file an appeal. He can take any legal recourse, but pending investigation, subject to the High Court order now, he is supposed to resign on moral, ethical and legal grounds as well.
All right, so the BJP there demanding that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah take the high moral ground and step down, considering the fact that he is now officially been pronounced as an accused in the MUDA case. Lavanya Balal, how do you respond to what your counterpart has said?
We seem to have lost Lavanya Balal's link for a bit there, but I can tell you what Congress leaders are telling Prashant. The Congress leaders who I've spoken to off the record are telling me Yediyurappa took many months of cajoling, convincing by the BJP leadership to resign even after allegations were made against him. So Siddaramaiah still has time. They say due process is still pending.
No, Veera,
Matter will go to the Supreme Court.
Hang on, unlike Yediyurappa, no?
Prashant, I'm not a Congress spokesperson. I'm just putting in front of you the facts that's there. Though the Congress leaders are saying, A, that there is still room for legal recourse. He can go to Supreme Court, A. B, they're saying that what the High Court has done is upheld the governor's right to sanction prosecution. And now the matter will go to the elected representatives court, which can order a probe into the chief minister. Let the probe findings come out. We have faith in the judicial process. If there is proven guilty, we will take action. Why are you jumping the gun right now? There are several BJP leaders against whom cases are pending who have not withdrawn. That's the line from the Congress already, Mr. Prashant. Are you jumping the gun and demanding minister's resignation?
No. We are not jumping the gun. Because if at all Congress is saying that Yediyurappa ji took longer time, Siddaramaiah has always said he will not do it. Which means he's always in the past said, look, I am unlike Mr. Yediyurappa, I would have resigned on the spot. Please replay the tapes of Siddaramaiah in the past. So therefore, now Congress cannot say, we will wait for the probe. Why? Let him take that moral high ground and resign. And if he is actually clean like he proclaims him to be, let him come back and occupy the chair. If at all Congress
there is no moral low ground in Indian politics. There is no moral high ground.
We have more reactions coming in. We're unfortunate that the Congress spokesperson isn't here to answer those questions directly, but I think Veera has put forward what the view of the Congress party is generally. B.Y. Vijendra also holding a press conference at the moment. We have to dip in and listen in.
ತಮ್ಮ ವಿವೇಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿ ಅವರ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಆಧಾರವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ
after considering all the facts that the governor had given permission to prosecute
ನೀಡಿದ್ರು ಏನ್ ಬೊಬ್ಬೆ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್